You are now tuned into FNL Radio. Real Talk Radio with DJ Johnson. Friday night in the Facebook. Friday night. We ain't got no job. We ain't got no shit.
Hey, what is up, everybody? This show just started and already on some stuff. Welcome back, everybody, to FNL Live, everybody. So, it's been a good few months. When has it been? Since February, since we've done the show for you all people. We do apologize, but we needed some time, you know, to bring the show back in. You know, we got our own personal stuff and everything. So right now, there's already not a personal vendetta against me right now. So I'm pretty sure by the next time that we do another show, I might have a broken limb or something, because I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But to start off the show, everybody, it's your boy Doc, and got Monique on the other end as well.
Hey, loves. How is everybody doing out there tonight? Like Doc said, we have been on a long hiatus, but we are so excited to be live and full in effect with you guys. I know I have missed you guys so very much. Like Doc said, we both have had other things going on, so they kind of prevented us from checking in with you guys, but we are back. We promise that we won't have a long break like this ever again, but I'm excited to be back. So glad that you guys are tuned in to us, and I'm ready to spill some tea, honey.
Yes, everybody. So we have, like you said, been on the hiatus since, and we gotta give a shout out to all the listeners and everyone who donated. We did the last time we left off with you all. We did the Black Panther Movie Day Challenge, which was a success. We did that in Hampton. Didn't get shot, so everybody came back unscathed and everything. But that was
you were in my hometown, my neck of the woods, and we did, like you said, we do thank everybody who participated, who gave, and and made it possible, for kids that otherwise may not have been able to go to the movies, to be able to see Black Panther. You guys gave them the opportunity to do so. So we are very grateful for that, very humble for that, and thank you guys for that. And yes, Reggie, you were in Hampton. I could have had something happen to you, but I don't want to call my posse, my bad news posse to book your ass, because it's funny. Yeah, we ain't been back in a long time, but a bitch don't forget. I got a memory like an elephant. And it's funny how we collected all this money. I gave you cash money on that Sunday when I saw you, and the next day you was
oh wait,
ass to the loo to a whole nother day upstate at a goddamn concert with the money. So yeah.
Don't let the allegations fool y'all people, because there's a lot of allegations that we got.
No allegations is what I know.
First, let's start off with the first thing. So I did go to a concert after the fact, the day after, but
2 days after. Say
but that was to the Kalela concert in Philly, but that was a gift. So that wasn't used for any other money. That was used for the Black Panther tickets. I mean, how could it be used for the tickets, people? I mean, how can you take the money when you have to pay for the tickets up front? So that's one thing. Then I received an email from, I'm a minister, an ordained minister at that. And I received this email one day, and I'm like, look, I never got an email from you all to begin with, from the Universal Life Church, where I got my certificate of ministry from. And I get this email about people raising questions about the validity of our pastor or our pastoral certificates and whatnot, our degrees and stuff. And I'm like, this sounds like some shit Monique would do. So I text Monique real quick, and I'm like, you know what, Monique, is this something that you, because you talk about it quite hefty on the show, and I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of people listening. And
now, from what I gathered from that text message that you sent me, sound like y'all out here burying people, how to watch night services, and your license ain't real. That's what I gathered.
So I did go over everything. All my paperwork is legit, so I am still able to perform baptismals, weddings, funerals,
bar mitzvahs,
all them good things. So the money was to be coming in, and I am ordained. I am my certificate is up to date, people. I will flash the card for you if you have to, but I am ordained by the Christ of the Lord. So, so that was one thing. And you all know I just updated. You've been checking the Facebook page and on Twitter. I did update the logo, so we do have a new logo because this is a season premiere. People, because the amount of time we've been away, this is a season premiere. So I updated the logo. I updated the intro. However, the intro was not ready to be uploaded. Wasn't able to be uploaded yet. I'm looking at Monique's face, everybody.
I'm just taking it all in. Back in the same fuck shit. But
so Monique thinks there's a vendetta against her as well, and with the intro because when Monique joined the show, I did change it. I did 2 drafts of the intro, and the one that I uploaded for the past 4 years, I assumed was the right one. However, it was brought to my attention that Monique's name sounded a little faint.
Which I believe was done on purpose.
And Monique believes that I've been doing shows behind her back on this channel. Everybody, you clearly have seen, I've not done the FNL radio show without Monique, so she think I'm doing the Destiny's Child Matthew Knowles and just replacing her under the slot tip. Which is not the case. So, all those rumors have been set to rest right now.
I believe that you have, because you started telling me about all the viewers and, you know, the numbers went up. I still don't know how many followers we got from, well, how long have I been doing this show? I still don't know.
Well, since we did change platforms mid-season last time around, we do have some new subscribers, but they were relying on the old shows. So we don't have any subscribers off of new shows. So that shows that people have been waiting for us. So now we have more opportunities to those subscribers. And like I said, you'll have gotten a notification that there was a new show. So.
Well, yet again, I believe that you were able, just like somehow or another, my name was very faint. And you couldn't hear my name in the intro. I believe that you somehow finessed the way, you know, have these shows and get my notifications taken off. Somehow my notifications have been turned off of FNL. Okay.
This is some good Bud Light. This is the Bud Light Orange, everybody. Y'all haven't tried it yet. This is a really good one.
Yeah, you guys know, typically my signature drink is, you know, a Seagram's, making me happy, but a bitch now is doing Herbalife. So drinking my water, drinking my tea, having my shakes. So I am now drinking some good old water in a nice and lovely wine glass.
Yes, keep it real fancy, real classy and whatnot. That looked like came from Crate and Barrel. Is that a Crate and Barrel glass there?
This is a wine glass that I got from a wine tasting when I went to James River Cellars. Okay?
So you stole the glass. Okay. So so is the glass stolen?
No, the glass is not stolen. I actually paid for a glass of wine when I did the wine tasting, so I got to keep the glass, if you must know. This is actually a work event that I went on.
Oh, you're drinking on the job. I don't know what the things happen, but
this was after work.
Shit happened after work too, but what was I about to say? Oh, but in the midst of our time away as well, I celebrated my birthday. I turned 28. My parents just moved to a new house, so I've been helping them out this weekend, moving and stuff like that. So with their money, my dad's military money, you know, he's retired now, so he makes a nice little coin and whatnot. And they did just move a couple of years ago, but they moved into a new place. So, you know, it is what it is. But as Monique sips some water.
I'm gonna sip on this water.
Well, it might as well be wine. You know, Jesus turned water into wine. So, you know, just imagine that it's that good red wine there. But
And I'm not gonna say nothing about the down payment that that was used to purchase this new home, but
that wasn't me, because with my down payment, I would have been at a new house. But and I made a decision, people. I'm not moving this year, so I am going to stay in the same place this year, 2018. And just been working and whatnot, and that's about it. Like I said, we're doing more stuff for the show. We're actually going to make a effort to do things, because we really got the hang of the YouTube situation, so we're going to be doing more like YouTube stuff for you all. And
well, how did you get the hang of the YouTube situation if you haven't been on YouTube? Where did you get out his hang? I'm just asking. As I sip.
Now, anywho, so
you learned the whole YouTube situation. I don't think you learned that in the last in just 15 minutes. So it sounds to me as if you have been practicing, which means you've been having shows, which means that you have some other co-hosts. That's what it sounds like to me. But I shall digress.
There's no other co-hosts. There have been no other shows. Now I did record some shows. They haven't been updated though, or uploaded rather, because if they were uploaded, they would have been on here. They were just like the reaction videos to like the award shows and stuff. But I haven't had time to edit the video, so I didn't upload them. Just to keep our visibility alive. But you all have rocked with us through our silent days, so it shows that you're really here for us and Monique and her clownery. So we do that, y'all. But that's all been up with me. Monique, how you been over the past few months?
I've been good. You guys know that I've just kind of been busy with my mom. She's kind of been back and forth in the hospital, things like that. So that has taken up a lot of my time. Jaden is not here tonight. He is at his dad's house. Hallelujah. So we don't have to worry about him, trying to steal any camera time. But just, busy with work and just home. Other than that, same old hustle, same old bustle. So, can't say that my mom moved into a new home and FNL Management LLC's money funded. Can't say that is that has happened. Like you guys say, I am on a new journey as far as I'm just kind of becoming more healthy, trying to lose a little weight. Like I said, I have partaken in this whole Herbalife journey. So I'm loving that, did a weigh-in yesterday. A bitch lost 3 pounds. So I'm happy about that. Haven't gotten any new cars lately. That's just the truck my husband blessed me with in February. So like I said, I can't complain one little bit. Just happy to be back with you guys. And again, you guys watch me while I work, while this weight drops off me. Yeah. But I am happy to be back and be sharing and spilling some tea with you guys.
Yes, definitely, because like we said, we have a lot that we have to catch up on that we haven't talked about in months, everybody. Now, one of the things too is, and I am on my meat diet now. Y'all know I did the whole Lent thing, because that's the last time I talked to you. I had just started Lent. So I survived Lent with no alcohol and no meats or anything. So I've been doing good with that. I did go back into the meat a little bit, but not as much as I was. So I don't miss it. But of course, alcohol is my very best friend. Not an alcoholic though. So I've been drinking. And y'all with these new, it's called Capriccio or something like that. It's this new sangria and it's black bottle that y'all been drinking up on social media. And y'all saying it's like the new Four Loko way to get y'all really bent and whatnot. So I tried to go to the store to get some tonight. Total Wine closed at 7, so I wasn't trying to rush to make it there. Someone lied and said it was at Kroger, but it wasn't there. So I will partake in this Bud Light Orange, and I will, by next week's show, should have my Capriccio, whatever the damn sangria is, on that, so I can give y'all my review on it and see if my attitude or anything changes during the show. Cause I have a real high tolerance for alcohol, so we shall see. And it's $10 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, I wanted to know how much it is, and this is being sponsored through FNL Management LLC.
Well, not being sponsored yet now. Capriccio, if you want to sponsor, be our little alcoholic.
What I'm saying are the funds that you're going to use to pay for this Capriccio. Is it coming out your end, or is it coming out of the funds of FNL Management LLC?
Speaking of Capriccio, it reminds me of a Capri Sun. I haven't had a Capri Sun in a good minute.
Well, we have those quite frequently at my house because I have a 7-year-old.
See, I just bypassed that last comment about the funds for the Capriccio. Mm-hmm. But we missed a lot during the show, everybody. So certain things that have happened, like Bill Cosby. So we've been talking about Bill Cosby ever since we brought the show back a long time ago. And I was just listening to some old, it wasn't my show, but it was like the old Wendy Williams radio show in 2005. And the girl that just was the basketball player, that's the one that just was part of that whole situation too with the trial. Was that the basketball player from Temple?
She was the coach or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that whole Bill Cosby, once that whole situation, I just stopped giving a fuck. Until Mr. Bill Cosby himself wanted to act the damn fool going to the courthouse and whatnot. So we talked about his first part when he was acting the mess, going to the courthouse and, walking the blind stick and whatnot, acting like putting on the show, really putting on the dramatic.
Bumping and stumbling into shit.
Bumping into shrubs and bushes and shit. And then here he go now. There was one part when there was I guess it was a fine lady walking by and he did a little, I was like, Bill Cosby now, come on now. All right, so you're checking out women going to the courthouse. Camilla's in the background walking real slow as hell, knowing that it's about to be the day. And then when he got the conviction that he's been guilty, here he going to the courthouse making barking noises and stuff at the jurors. He saying that he don't have a helicopter. He don't have all this money. I said, what in the old fuck? So, of course, I think the sentence carried, 10 years of charge or something, or 30 years of charge?
Yeah. Now, you guys have to tell us what you guys think about this. Now, do you think that they're going to let Bill Cosby live out his last years in the prison?
That's how he got his last years.
Just kind of give him some, give him some house arrest and, kind of have some, some strict guidelines on where he can and can't go. Because I think right now, as it stands, he cannot leave, the state of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. He have his little ankle monitor on. And it's like he wasn't going nowhere anyways. He allegedly can't see, so.
Yes, and where you got to go?
Exactly.
What do you guys think? I don't know. I think if you do the crime, you should do the time. So if you raping and drugging and grabbing bitches by the pussy and then making special coffees for them and telling them that you got a special cappuccino for them and giving them Quaaludes and then pretty much fucking them without their consent, that is called statutory rape is illegal. So I do think that old Bill should do the time. So,
Yes, and the thing about that too is like I said, we've been talking about this for years, and like I said, when I listened to the old Wendy Williams show on YouTube, and that's been over a decade. So this has been something that's been going on for a long time. Back in the day, people have been talking. Now, I was wondering if I was going to see Janice Dixon or the good hair herself, Beverly Johnson, at the courthouse. They didn't make an appearance. So, it would have been nice to, make sure they still got a pulse because Bill probably got some people killed down in these streets. I haven't heard from Beverly Johnson. I haven't heard a peep from her, actually, in a good minute. Have we heard?
Johnson, she wrote that book. Remember when we talked about that book she wrote on the show? superhead of the 70s.
Yeah.
And she's what was in that book? Mike Tyson and whole bunch of different men and athletes and things like that she had slept with. So we have not that I can remember, we haven't discussed her since since then. But and then again, remember when they were showing the court case, the little girl from the Cosby show, when she was out there protesting.
Yeah,
with those shirt on, and they tack her ass down to the ground.
Yes,
in them bushes. So it's. I don't know. Like I said, I think that if you do something, if you do the crime, you have to do the time. I mean, then when they kind of compare him to Harvey. Was it Harvey Weinstein or Weinstein? But apparently he has turned himself in.
Yes, $1 million bond.
But yeah, he's out. Yeah, so I guess nigga, what was the point of turning yourself in?
Exactly.
Only to get right back out like within a few hours.
Exactly.
But I don't know, Bill, and again, this is that whole thing that people have to be able to differentiate, Bill Cosby from William H. Cosby.
Yes.
Dr. I should say Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. Lord, I can't speak. You have to be able to differentiate between those two. You know what I mean? So. And always, what you do in the dark always comes to light at some point. And what you put out in the atmosphere, you certainly get it back.
Exactly.
Yourself.
Exactly. And Camille, your ass should be locked up too, because you knew some shit was going on. We talked about you on the show as well. Like you said, Harvey Weinstein turned himself in. He's the really reason why the whole Me Too movement started, because there's been stuff about him for years, and that
woman who kind of brought it out. I also questioned her mental health status, because she looks crazy.
Yes.
She looks very I don't even know what the word is. She looks very scary. Yes. And
touched.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's stable.
Yeah.
She cut her hair off supposedly because it is. She just, I don't know. I don't know if she looked better with long hair. I don't see what he saw in her period, but she looks very unhealthy. I should say that she doesn't, and she appears to lack a whole lot of mental capacity. But at any rate, yeah, supposedly that's why this whole Me Too movement was started. So, and then I guess the latest to be brought into the fold is old Morgan Freeman.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, people, because that's when I was surprised about. I don't know if I said it on the show, but I was like, I hope no one of a high level like him or anybody come to the light of a Me Too situation. And it just had to be Morgan Freeman. He's the oldest living man alive. And here you go. But we're going to talk about him in a little bit, everybody. Someone else that had a little crazy moment during the our break and our hiatus as well is Kanye West. So y'all know Kanye. We're going to talk about him a little bit as well. But Kanye, when we've been on our break, he returned to Twitter. So, me a Kanye fan because I grew up on Kanye. College Dropout was my shit. I was 14 when that album came out. Even with his productions, I was like 11 years old when he was like producing for Jay-Z and stuff on the Blueprint. So I've always been a fan of his. And then he was one of the people where it made it cool to be artsy and stuff like that in school, wear the polos and stuff and be a little different. So that's always Kanye was one of my favorites. So when he got back on Twitter, I was like, oh, this is cool. He was tweeting out stuff for the Yeezy samples. I was like, these are like some Rite Aid slippers, but okay, if people want to pay $800 for these slides, that you can get from Rite Aid for $10, or hell, Rite Aid, now they cheap as hell, so you get them for $3. I was like, okay, that's cool and great. And then I'm looking more and more, then he started with a Make America Great Again hat. I was like, okay, sir. And he started supporting Trump. I'm like, now, hold on now. It's a wonder how we got you like this far right now, because we just blacklisted Tina Campbell, so we don't even know where she at. We didn't see her at the Dove Award, so
somewhere cussing honey ass out on the steps. On the floor.
It is about that time to go on vacations, and honey got watched all 8 of them kids and pack suitcases and stuff, and get cussed out on the front porch for not letting her breathe when you the damn mama, but that's not my business, though. That's between you and the Lord. And I hope you got that salvation at the Jordan River. But hey,
Yeah.
that will ever go down in history, people.
Yeah, she just wanted to go home and pack her stuff, get her booty bag together, and see the dog. See the camera say, "Bitch, no, you won't. You got them kids, somebody to watch them, and it ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be Teddy's ass. It's gonna be your ass. You can't pack no bags here. You can't go home and pack no goddamn bags here." Yeah, I was like, okay, so you took your mama on that porch and cussed her out.
Clean out, my goodness. But so that's what happened with Kanye, and Kanye is another one that has a mental case as well. We talked about him before on the show. It's more deep than when his mother passed away because, like y'all say, he's in a sunken place. And at one point on the during our break, he wanted to put the surgeon that did operation on his mother when she was doing plastic surgery and she died afterwards. He wanted to put him on the album cover for his new album that comes out next week. Actually, if he sticks to a schedule now, the Pusha T album came out on Friday at schedule. So then his album's supposed to come out next Friday. Then after that, it's supposed to be him and Kid Cudi's album. Then after that, Tiana Taylor and then Nas and so forth. But Kanye's been in the weird place as well mentally. Ever since the Yeezus album, for one, because that sounds like some crazy music. Except for Bound 2. Bound 2 forever be the shit on that album, but that's the only good song I can really relate to. And the other stuff is like he just been, I don't know, he's been like cut off. Like you hear the people that he's had conversations with. He released the record with Day Against the People when he did the record with T.I. And you know, T.I. up there in his big words, trying to make sense of the situation, trying to tell him, you know, you turn your back on black people that had your back for years. And like you really supporting Trump, someone that advocates for racism in this country. And if you hear T.I. was on the Breakfast Club and doing interviews, and he was like, Kanye has a mind. This is how I take it. Kanye, I'm pretty sure he has bipolar. I think they diagnosed that. But he has something else where he really has like a child-like mentality where you're supposed to be 40 years old and you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or you don't know the difference between what this person is doing and whatnot. And T.I. was like, you know, Kanye's been asking questions like, well, if the president did this or the president did that, I'm like, it's all common sense laid out in front of us, and you're not mentally grasping that there's something deep wrong.
I mean, and I think you also kind of put it best. He does have, you know, all these various projects coming out, and they're coming out soon. So it kind of also makes me question whether a lot of this is for stunts and shows, you know, for the simple fact that he wants to kind of keep these projects in the forefront of everyone's mind. And I think, you know, and everybody knows you are as relevant to, you know, to be relevant, you got to stay, you know, kind of in the forefront of everyone's mind, or whatever. So you have to you kind of this all this controversy and things like that. I think that, you know, maybe he thinks that it makes people kind of wonder, well, hey, what is he really thinking? Well, let's see, you know, if he's able to kind of portray that in the music. So you go out and buy an album, you know, when he produces, you know, like Pusha T's album, like you said, the album that he has out, that's coming out with him and Kid Cudi. So I think that a lot of this, while I'm not negating the fact that he does have a mental illness, and I think that he does not, you know, I don't know. What I think is, I think that he is not getting the help and the treatment that he probably should. But I also think that he's very smart when he thinks. I think that he's very intelligent, and by way of being very strategic, and he knows what will, you know, get you know, what will light the fire. And I think the way to, again, get some full free promotion and to, you know, get them sales up there. So I think that it is a combination of all of those things, not just that his ass is crazy as a bitch, but all of those things combined. You know, because again, like you said, College Dropout was one of my all-time favorite, you know, albums too. So again, I think that this is to kind of, you know, kind of get people to really think about it and say, hey, what is he thinking? Go buy that album. Maybe you can kind of get some of those questions answered. You know, as to what, because like even interview the Pusha T did recently, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But he was stating even with that album release, a lot of the controversial things that have happened with Kanye West recently, he states it's kind of better explained and comes across better, you know, in the album. If you listen to the words, you listen to the lyrics, you can kind of get and see where he's coming from. So, you know, maybe he doesn't articulate it the best, but it kind of comes off differently in the music. And you know, ultimately that's the goal is you know, to sell your albums and get your goddamn coin.
Exactly, because you know we're gonna listen. So, like you said, that was right, Monique. Like, you know, he's doing this possibly in a way where it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get people talking. This is a good marketing plan here. You know, and this is going to get people talking. It's going to go streams in, because this one made me feel old too, because we're in a day where streams count so much heavy weight on the charts.
Yeah.
Where in the day we used to be sell CDs and sell plastic, sell cassettes and stuff like that. And we're not in that age anymore. But as quick as someone click a stream, that's monetary value already. It just hit play. So that's getting that hype up there already. Even with the Lift Yourself, the new single, it's a hot track. The production is fire up there. But the only thing Kanye say on the track is scoopity scoopity scoop, poopity poop, poop poop, doopity scoop. I was like, okay, that's all he said.
Yeah, like I said, I think that he is very intelligent, like you said, when it comes to marketing and strategies and things like that. You know, because just because you have a mental illness does not mean that you know, are stupid and dumb and you're ignorant. Some of the most intelligent people have mental illnesses. So, you know, like I said, I'm not negating those things. I think it is a combination of all those things. You know,
not taking your meds all the way.
Yeah,
like working himself too, because like Pusha T said, he's producing 7 tracks on all these albums that's coming out. So that's like 35 or something tracks already that he's doing himself, held up there in Wyoming.
I mean, and he admitted it when he had that situation with the guy from TMZ, when he went back and apologized. He was like, you know, listen, you know, I was, you know, basically on uppers and opiates and all these type of drugs and things. You know, he willingly admitted that. So, you know, like I said, like you said, not taking your medicine and following your treatment plan and kind of doing what you want to do with your medicine. And taking more than what's prescribed, and you taking it when you want to take it, and then you probably mixing it with a little lean, you know, a whole lot of different things going on. You know, then his sister-in-law, she had, and not that affected him, but you know, she had this baby recently, and Tristan Thompson cheated on her, and him and his whole, you know, the tape surface and video surface between them.
New York City, you still got the side chicks still coming to the games. They're in the finals right now for the NBA finals against the Celtics. And word in the street is that the side chick is still at the games. Well, Chloe's at the games.
That probably is true.
I'm like, what type of happy sister wives fuck shit is this? But hey, Chloe seemed alright with it because she back with Tristan. They making it work. You know, sometimes you don't always gotta make it work for the babies, but apparently, I guess, I don't know. He's on his last string as a player. Although he's been advancing lately in these games, because at first when the whole cheating scandal came out, he was losing games like a motherfucker, and they were getting mad at him. So now, you know, third trimester Thompson, he's doing a lot better now. You know, that's his new nickname, Tristan Third Trimester Thompson. He like to leave his women or cheat on them during the third trimester. And like Chloe, you know, you had it coming to you though, because how you get them is how you lose them. Because at the same time, he left his other baby mama during her third trimester for you, and you all on with the gram and stuff like that. Y'all out in parties and stuff like that, flashing a ring because you got engaged, and you in the same situation now. So when this next chick get pregnant, you'll finally be on the wayside possibly. So I mean, it is what it is, you know. And that's our Kardashian minute. I know we don't talk much about them, but we do got a Kim story later in the show as well, against Rhyme Fest. So that's going to be an interesting story too. Chris Brown has been in a lot of trouble. Chris Brown's been doing pretty good lately. Except he got in a lawsuit, wasn't really his. Well, the pictures I saw, he was choking the girl. She looked like she was in a playful mood though.
What? So, and then is this and then the incident that happened at his house? The girl is suing him.
That same thing, yeah.
Yeah, and somebody, she had to eat somebody out while they was on that period.
Exactly. Or he was instructing the girl, or one of his associates was instructing her to do something to one of the other friends and stuff. I was like, there's a lot going on. Y'all just nasty, sucking up blood out the coochie, and you know, already smell like fried fish, salmon, and oh goodness, y'all just
he had been doing very well. You know, up until recently, he was, you know, out of trouble, out of the headlines, and then, you know, all of this sudden this happened. I mean, but you know, some happens with him at least 2-3 times out the year. The year ain't complete. You know, we're not talking about him or something that he done or whatever. And I didn't really hear him speak on this whole situation. He hasn't really said much about it. So, and he probably may have been advised. I'm probably so. I'm thinking he has probably been advised not to discuss this situation because those are some serious allegations. So,
and just like another VA brother, Mr. Trason Trigger himself, might as well report the trigger, Mr. Beat Your Girl, because word on the street that he was beating the girl, like physically with the fist, truth the truth.
He always whipping some bitch ass.
Exactly.
I mean, we've had several stories about him. And it's always involving him and cell phones and people taking pictures. Listen, let me just set the record straight to you bitches. If you guys go to a Trey Songz concert, you guys wind up in some type of hotel room with him, whatever setting, bitch, you cannot take your phone, because if you take your phone and he see the flash go off, or he got an inkling that you got a phone anywhere around him, he gonna whoop your ass.
Exactly. So we mentioned this when the first time we really talked about when he was at the Grammy Theater. And he was taking cell phones, and it was a big hoopla about that, and you know, stuff like that. But you know, Trey, he'd been brushing the rumors off, so he think it's not that serious. But I mean, those some very damaging allegations to one's career. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a Me Too story came out. I could remember Keke Palmer had to hide in a closet while at a party because he was about to do something to her. So. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. And again, times are totally different. I grew up in a totally different area. You know, you go to a concert. I didn't hung out with Biz Markie before. You know, showing my age. You know, I didn't been backstage. You know, you talk. You know. Have a few, you know, but you just act like you had some sense. I mean, like you said, what that situation that happened at his house with Keke Palmer, and you know, she claimed this the one where she wanted to sue him for using her her likeliness or whatever. This is about a video or something that they were supposed to shoot, and it just went all left and all awry and stuff like that. You know, like I said, I've gone to concerts and I've met a few famous people, been backstage and stuff like that. You know, when you act like you got some sense, like I've never had any wild stories like this. I mean, wow, you know, things like that happen, but still, girl, bad.
Yeah, so of course we want to keep y'all updated on if anything happened with Trey. We haven't really heard much from him since then anyways, but again, we had a lot that we just covered during this whole time frame that we missed, and I'm pretty sure there's more stuff what else we missed possibly?
While we have been gone, what else has happened? Did we talk about? I guess we talked about Serena Williams having her baby.
I think we did. That was, I think, our last story that we talked about.
Okay, so we talked about that. Congratulations to Taraji P. Henson. She is now officially off the market, guys. Cookie Lyons is now, taken, and she's going to be heading down the aisle, going to be marrying her longtime boyfriend. I think they've been dating for like 4 years. He's a former NFL player. So, and I don't know his name, and I really don't have time to sit here and try to Google it. But congratulations to her.
Oh yeah, Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child probably got a ring on it.
Yes, she is engaged, and she has her old saltine, honey. He's a preacher. We really haven't heard much since that story broke. But supposedly she's engaged. Let's see. I guess we really didn't say, congratulations to Jessica Dime from Real Housewives of Atlanta. What else? Real Housewives? Yeah, from Love and Hip Hop. She is pregnant, and I guess tomorrow night on Love and Hip Hop, they are supposed to reveal, I guess, the gender of the baby. I read today that supposedly Rashida Frost is pregnant again with Kirk's baby. I don't know how true that is, but I read that today. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of anything else, or anybody else had babies or got engaged.
Kristen Steigen and John Legend welcomed baby boy.
Yeah, they welcomed the baby boy.
The train's coming.
People get ready. So I'm trying to think. I think.
I just don't mind that. It's just.
Oh, and I guess well, and you guys here. Okay, we just waiting on
Lately, it's not FNL if you don't hear the train in the background. Sadly, that's our.
And we talk about this show every now and again. Looks like Lawrence Page has ended his love affair with Thandi from Hustle and Soul. So he I guess has proposed to Anna. So I guess we can say congratulations to them if that is real.
Yes, Anna, Anna and her clapbacks towards Thandi this year have been like insane. She called her Pennywise, called her called her a young man, like,
and then somebody called her Beetlejuice. that striped shirt she was wearing.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all really had it coming for Thandi, but she had it coming though. Like this season made me hate Thandi so much, but it's like she's a psycho one too. Like she's been living in a cardboard long enough to have her own imagination and thoughts and stuff like that, because something really ain't right with her. So she said she'll be back again next season. Like she really about to pop up on the scene somewhere. So fighting in pools and stuff, red dye all up in the bathtubs at the hotels on the white premium towels and stuff. Anywho. So yeah, that's pretty much been like I said, it's a lot that we probably didn't cover. But if we missed something, we'll think about it, people. But one thing that happened last weekend was the 2018 Billboard Music Awards, everybody. So it's about that time for the summertime award shows to start popping off. And Kendrick Lamar was one of the big winners that night. Him and Ed Sheeran both won 6 awards each. And Kendrick won awards such as Best Top Billboard 200 Album for Damn. And he won the Top Streaming Artist. And he won the Top Rap Male Artist, Top Rap Album. Jay-Z won the Top Rap Tour. Bruno Mars won in the R&B categories, of course, with That's What I Like and 24 Karat Magic. And
and I was going to say, there you go again. That piggyback on what you were saying before about the whole streaming thing. Now, you know, back in the day, you know, when the Grammys and the Billboard Awards came on, when we were kids, that would have never been a category.
Exactly, just top album and top male album, top female album.
Most streamed artists, that would never been a category. So times are changing. You know, music is changing, honey.
Exactly. And then some of the performances, Ariana Grande, she performed her new single. Kelly Clarkson hosted the show. She did like a medley of songs, which was nice. Khalid and Normani did Love Lives for the first time on television. Normani, she killed that shit now. She really got that future outside of Fifth Harmony secured because people have been talking about her performance.
I did not see the Billboard Awards, but I did hear that she really can hold her own. She doesn't really need Fifth Harmony. I heard her performance was really good.
John Legend did a good night while Kanye out here after the message taking a screenshot of text messages. He could have been promoting John Legend's new single. John Legend's still on good music. But, you know, John had to do a little performance. He didn't get a little stage or nothing like that. He just had to use the regular stage. He didn't get like a big production or nothing. But it was effective, and all the people in the audience knew the song. They were clapping like it was Sunday service, like at the cookout or something. So he got a little, you know, hit right there with A Good Night. Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato, a.k.a. the two Vanilla Ice Creams, performed their new song, Fall in Line. And those vocals fell in line, too, where, you know, there was a lot of loudness. So they were like, good thing Jennifer Hudson wasn't there. I just say that because he all would have been a screaming match, but you know it was good and stuff. Jennifer Lopez did her new single De Niro with DJ Khaled. Janet Jackson, who won the Icon Award, and she's the first Black woman to ever win the Icon Award. To just say that because she's been doing this for 4 decades, and she just now winning this Icon Award, and the first Black female to ever do so at that. So she performed the medley of Nasty, If, and Thrive. And I was like, okay, Janet, you look real good. You know, we talking about Janet on the show and stuff like that, how she, 52 now. She just turned 52 over the past weekend, or the weekend before last. She got little baby East. She's still going through a little divorce and stuff like that. Catherine was in the audience, so she got secured out the closet, so that's good. She's not held up in the closet by the cousin. Even Rebe
Catherine out?
Yeah, they let Catherine out. She was in the audience. Rebe Centipede was there, so she's hanging from somebody's centipede, and she went to the show. And of course, the little Jackson kids weren't there because they beefing and stuff like that. But that's not new.
Yeah, they said Paris has some type of issue with Janet Jackson. Well, I've never thought that Paris Jackson was stable in the first place. She's another one. And what is the issue that she has with her?
She don't even know. She just said no one called her to come to the show, and no one called her manager. So of course she didn't come. So I mean, we never know.
I think according to her, she's spilling these teas now. They're stating that she's basically stating that Janet Jackson has never really been there for her. Never really checked on her to see if she was okay. Basically, she basically said that Janet Jackson could care less about her. So I'm not sure where all this is coming from and stemming from, but Paris Jackson is one you probably need to be on the lookout for because I don't think she's mentally stable either.
Exactly. Again, when she lost a parent, so that was her world. So she's acting out because she was secure. We saw the Michael Jackson movie. And I missed that little special they had on Thursday night on ABC when they said Michael Jackson's Last Days. It was a documentary that came on ABC. So I missed that. But, when we saw the movie on Lifetime, they were sure that had, blankets over their faces and stuff and masks, like they were at a masquerade ball in New Orleans in the French Quarter during Mardi Gras. So, it was just a lot that they had going on. So she's free, but she's a little too free where she's speaking too much and she just, again, last time we talked about her, she got robbed by a hitchhiker, took her debit card and shit. Like, you can't be too nice. Like, you too trusting. And she needs some guidance.
Yeah, there goes that mental illness again, because that is not normal. Like you said, that that you should be picking up strangers off the street. And then, like you said, they rob you, take your debit card, got your passcode.
Yeah.
Password, so... Again, Paris Jackson is and hell, Catherine Jackson can't do no with it because Catherine Jackson can't do no with her own damn self.
She can't keep her consumer wireless phone because cousin about to take her and lock her in the closet again. So
yeah, so and I think at this point that child is grown in the damn way.
Yeah, she's over 18, so you on your own, baby girl. Like no one gotta call you and all that. As long as it's
your ass.
Exactly. And y'all don't celebrate Christmas, so it's not like y'all can come together for any holidays. Like I don't know. That's just on y'all. But anywho.
That's called life. That's called being an adult. Exactly. Girl, there anybody be calling and checking on you every 10 minutes.
Exactly. Like get it together. And but Janet looked good though. She performed. I wish the performance was longer though. But she had like nice little oversized gold shimmery. Cause she got cover up now still since she's 52, so she don't show that much. But she showed a little thigh cap though. She showed a little thigh. So I guess that was an effort. She still got the ponytail rocking and stuff, but she looked real good during the performance. And then Pharrell and that one little girl Camilla from Fifth Harmony did Sangria Wine, and I'm a big Pharrell fan. He's one of my favorites of all time as well. Neptunes and everything, straight out of 757. But that song ain't it though, and I wasn't a fan of it. So that's trash there. And then one of the performances that I was hyped for too was Salt and Pepper. They did a medley of their hits because this has been the 30th anniversary, and they're the first female hip hop artist to break the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. They had hits like Push It, they had What a Man, Shoot, Let's Talk About Sex, Your Business. They had like all the songs, and it's good that an award show like this, like the Billboard, like a mainstream award show on national television, seen worldwide, actually was able to honor them in that way, because you would think that they would be forgotten about. I mean, I don't even think BET Boys did a little tribute on them.
Typically not an award show that is for us.
Exactly.
So, them to be honored, yeah.
And Vogue came out, there's only 2 real members of En Vogue and then the one new girl, but
it's rocket.
That's on the shit for real.
Yes. Higher than I've ever been, up in the stars for you.
Yeah, the new album Electric Cafe is in
store. I mean, and they look good. Yeah. Damn good.
Now all of them, like even Spin, Salt, and Salt, that was a journey for her, because remember at one point she said she wasn't doing none of those songs no more. She wasn't going to be dancing and gyrating on stage.
Yeah.
I remember she was supposed to open the church in the 757 too on Tidewater Drive. Back in the day when she was on God's property doing stump and stuff, and on her gospel tip, she was supposed to do open the church in Tidewater Drive. I'll never ever happen to it, but it's a foot doctor now. But but all of them look good. And Pepper out here taking the married man, but that's not my black ass business. But you're talking about Christina on Grown Up Hip Hop, working with Adonis and stuff. Well, you got married man yourself who wife all up on social media talking about you, and you have
all your teas.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
You ought to be doing that.
Exactly. I mean, I guess any man is better than Tresh being her ass, but I mean, still. So we're going to be talking about I guess, I don't know. But that was a good award show, though. They all did good and look good. The next award show that's coming up, everybody, is the BET Awards. So that's coming up on June 24th. So, me and Monique will be there for you all to cover the award show and stuff like that, because we always got our opinions on that. So this year's show is going to be hosted by Jamie Foxx. He hosted before a long time ago. Now, Jamie Foxx, I remember he hosted the VMAs before too, and that was fun and stuff like that. But Jamie Foxx is one of the people I don't really like to see host an award show. I mean, I'm surprised I actually could sit through Beat Shazam, which comes back on this week. But he's one of the people that go off script a lot of the time, and he does a lot of unnecessary that he's supposed to. It's like a form of ADD of some type, but it's just like you all over the place, and I'm losing the concentration. I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. So, I mean, we'll see how he hosts, but I'm not looking forward to him as a host. It would have been a good year for Monique to come back, but she done burned a lot of her bridges. So, I mean, any way to get that check. But he's hosting. DJ Khaled is the most nominated artist for this year's show with 6 nominations, including Video of the Year.
I don't understand because he is not an artist. He's a DJ. I mean, I guess, you know, because he's
like the Kurt Franklin of hip hop. You know, he don't do shit, but his name all plastered across the album cover, all up on the album covers and stuff like that. But he's nominated for Video of the Year with Rihanna and Bryson Tiller for Wild Thoughts, Album of the Year for Grateful, and Coca-Cola's Viewer's Choice Awards for Wild Thoughts as well. Some of his nominations. But some of the nominees for Album of the Year include Jay-Z's 444, Kendrick Lamar and various artists for Black Panther the Album, Control by SZA, Culture 2 by Migos, Damn by Kendrick Lamar, and Grateful by DJ Khaled. Video of the Year, you got Bruno Mars and Cardi B for Finesse, Cardi B with Bodak Yellow, like I just said, DJ Khaled with Wild Thoughts, Drake for God's Plan, Kendrick Lamar with Humble, and Migos and Drake for Walk It Talk It. Best New Artist, you have A Boogie with The Hoodie, Daniel Caesar, Gold Link, Her, and SZA. So that's a good little category there. Best Female R&B Pop Artist, you have Beyonce, Her, Kehlani, Rihanna, and SZA. Best Male R&B Pop Artist, you have Bruno Mars, Chris Brown, Daniel Caesar, Khalid, The Weeknd. Best Female Hip Hop Artist, you have Cardi B, Dej Loaf, Nicki Minaj, Rhapsody, and Remy Ma. Already know they're going to get to Cardi B. Best Male Hip Hop Artist, you got DJ Khaled, Drake, J. Cole, Jay-Z, and Kendrick Lamar. Best Duo or Group, you have Migos, NERD, Ray Swimmer, Tribe Called Quest, and Chloe and Halle. And BET Her Award, you have Janelle Monáe with Django Jane, Mary J. Blige with Strength of a Woman, Remy Ma and Chris Brown with Melanin Magic, Lizzo with Water Me, Chloe and Halle with The Kids Are Alright. And Best Actress, you have Tiffany Haddish, Angela Bassett, Issa Rae, Taraji P. Henson, Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright. Best Actor, you have Denzel Washington, Sterling K. Brown, Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman, Daniel Kaluuya, and Donald Glover, who has been killing shit to people with This Is America, which is second week at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, his first #1 hit. Video already over 100 million views. That's like a think piece right there too. So shout out to Childish Gambino /
Listen, what do you think about Mr. Glover? Now he, like you said, he has this, you know, This Is America is definitely a think piece. It is you know, killing the views. But then when you look on his own piece, his own piece, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, so it's another Jesse Williams situation. Well, what now? Because although Jesse was married to a Black woman, you know, when they got the separation, divorce and stuff, he started creeping with a white woman. So, you know,
I mean, do you think that because of that he loses credibility?
Because he's been more, no lie, I've been following Donald Glover since he was I forgot his damn name, when he was on Community, and he did like little specials on Netflix and stuff like that. And he used to be a writer on 30 Rock and whatnot with Tina Fey. So he was more like, back then, he was one of those people that was more geared to like white television and stuff like that, because when he was right before.
Because I've seen, and I don't mean to cut you off, I've seen some of his like comedy specials, and and you guys know back in the day, I used to date a white guy myself. And it's funny because when I watched those comedy specials, it was with him, and he was falling out laughing. I was like, okay, none of this shit is that's funny to me. What do you laugh after that? And like you said, those things back then were geared more towards you know, whites or whatever. I didn't get his comedy and things like that. But then when you kind of turn it around to, you know, 2018, 2017, 2018, and you see that he's more conscious, he definitely, you know, addresses you know, what goes on with Blacks and African Americans in this day and this time and in this climate. But then when you look on his arm piece, you see something that is in contrast to the message that he's portraying. You know, I'm just like, you know, does that make it you know, does he lose his credibility because of that? You know,
it's one of those complicated things, because, you know, you're supposed to love who you love and like who you like and stuff like that. But then when you have a message like this, that he's, you know, giving out and stuff like that, which is going against the people that he's or his arm cane, his baby mama, it's like, you know.
Oh, he has a daughter. He has a child with her.
Kids.
Oh.
Yeah. So you know, I guess she really down with the cause and stuff like that. So I don't know. She's not identifying as transracial like Rachel Dolezal, like Elon's sister. I'm gonna talk about that too. I actually saw the movie today, so I'm gonna talk about that later when we can talk about her story.
Did you catch what I was talking about? There was like, okay, yeah, bitch, you was doing the most.
Yes, so I can't wait to talk about that shit. But BET Awards, they tweeted something where they want to know who y'all want to perform at the award show. It'd be dope if he performed there because, you know, Atlanta just came out for season premiere. That season of Atlanta was really good too. The way the stories were told and the way things were shot. This season was phenomenal.
Yeah, the only show that I saw this season was the one with Cat Williams. And I don't know if he had a recurring role or if it was that one particular show he was on. Yes, but and that one was actually pretty good. And then I could just never catch it. And I don't think I set my DVR to record it. And then I kind of started trying to watch it on demand. But I didn't see all of last season, so I didn't want to watch anything else of this season until I saw last season, and it just became too complicated. So I didn't watch it at all. But
yeah, but definitely good season though, and of course it's gonna be in the Lion King with Beyonce next year. But it'll be good to see him perform. Cardi, of course, she's not going to be performing because she's real pregnant nowadays, so she won't be on that stage. But it would be nice if she was up there. I don't know who else you want to see perform. Janelle Monáe definitely got to perform. Her album has actually been really good.
And I said I was going to kind of bring this up on the show. My husband was dying to cook out today, and I was like, "No, I am tired." You know, I'm running back and forth to the with my mom. She's actually, I was telling you last night, she's actually in the hospital again. So I was like, no, I am tired. So I left the house this morning to go get my Herbalife, to do my Herbalife. And he left, I guess, to go get things to put onto the grill. So when I came back home, like the music was blaring. He wasn't at home. He had gone to Kroger. But the music, like the Sirius XM was like blaring in the house, like just blasting. And a Janelle Monáe song came on. That song, what is it called? I Like It. Or
I Like That, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah. I'm not a big fan of her music whatsoever. I really don't think that she can sing. I think what is most appealing to me is like her sense of style and things like that. But she can't sing to me whatsoever. I'm not a fan of hers. I think she's a great actress. I think she did very well in Hidden Figures and something else. She was in Moonlight, I believe. So I loved her in those two things, but her singing, I can do without it. So I don't necessarily want to see her perform. Who would
Janae's album Dirty Computer is in stores via Bad Boy Records in Atlanta, so make sure you support Janelle.
Goddamn plug out there. Let's see.
Still sorry.
Who would I like to see perform as you cut across me to give your shout out to Bad Boy? You guys know I'm like a neo soul type person, so I would like to see Lettucey perform.
She'll be in the tribute. You know, they want to give her a tribute spot.
Yeah, so probably if they do, I am thinking maybe they're going to do a tribute to Anita Baker. So she probably will be singing an Anita Baker song. It's time for her to probably have a tribute.
Yeah, it's time for her to get an award, Lifetime Achievement. But
so who else? Maybe we were just talking, I'm not sure, but In Vogue, I would like to see them perform Rocket.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean I like the Migos, Walk It Like I Talk It. I do like that. Who else? I would not mind seeing Childish Gambino perform This Is America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
And it's
I mean, she's already performed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I really want to see that.
Yeah, we already saw Kendra last year, so Kendra really can't do nothing new.
Yeah, I'm thinking
well, her got to perform for sure. Her or Ella May. Ella May, she right now got booed up, which is
yeah.
And that's come out for 2 years, but hey, y'all catching up, so it's good. But
yeah, definitely her and Daniel Caesar. They actually have they have a great song together, a duet together.
Yeah.
And it honestly gives you that feel of that D'Angelo and Lauryn Hill, Nothing Even Matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see them perform that. Like you said, Ella May, Boot Up is very hot right now. I just hope she has another hit single, because you know kind of what happens to artists like that. They have that one hit, and that's about it.
Yeah. So
at any given time I always want to see Fantasia perform.
Right.
So
well, they didn't invite me to the show this year, so if I get an opportunity, I'll do a gospel tribute or something. I'm Jesus up now. I got the Lord on my side now. I'm doing everything right by the Lord. I'm married now. I got kids and shit.
So
that's probably who I would say that I would like. You guys, tweet us, let us know who you guys want to see perform, and who you guys want to see take home some awards. Just like the whole Best Actor, you guys know that Sterling K. Brown is my baby daddy in my own head. So I would love to see him take that award home. That's probably about the only person I'm rooting for in the actual lineup as far as awards. And if not, and then that's for male category. Female category, I would love to see Issa Rae take that award.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of, when we were talking about people who had babies and things like that, the young lady, I guess we owe them a congratulations. The young lady, the guy that plays Dro, and the young lady that played his girlfriend. I don't know these people's real names, but the young lady that played like his I guess it's his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Played his girlfriend at the Easter. Her name was Tasha on the show.
Yeah. So they actually had a baby together, but apparently he had a girlfriend at the same damn time. Mm-hmm. But they had this baby together. I think the girl just gave birth, this week, last week sometime. So I guess congratulations to the two of them. I guess that's in order. So
exactly. So so that's the BET Awards, everybody. So now moving on to our sick and shedding list. So SZA, or like they call her in Richmond, Zolziac.
Yeah, I promise you that's what I heard. Yeah.
So she currently she was on the TDE Championship Tour with Kendrick Lamar and a lot of other TDE artists like Schoolboy Q, J Rock, and a lot of other people. Well, she had to cancel her remaining dates on the tour because of a vocal injury. So she suffering from a vocal cord injury that she had to take a break from, because if she does any more performances, she would damage it even worse. So it's like kind of like how Erica Campbell did on the show on Mary Mary, or someone else did the same thing too.
Did Adele have that issue?
Adele had that issue. So just to prevent it from going any further, from her having to get surgery, which could potentially ruin it for life, she has to really take this break. So
Fantasia said she had an issue like that before, and she had to have a surgery.
Yeah, because it'll bust your blood vessels and everything like that. So, we gotta give our prayers up for her, for SZA, to make it through, so that at least she perform at the BET Awards or something if she decides to. Which also brings up to Coachella. So Beyonce, she killed Coachella and stuff like that. Of course, it was Coachella. But SZA had an issue at Coachella too the first weekend, because she was having vocal problems, and people just thought she wasn't able to sing that night. But she actually was going through what we now know is her vocal cord injury. So, we'll give her prayers up for her. And then also, Greg Leaks, he was in the hospital for 15 days as well. Y'all know NeNe Leaks' husband. He was sick before. Remember, they talked about it on the show. We talked about it on the show before.
On season 10, they talked about he has a heart condition. So, and I think his heart is enlarged, and I think also he possibly has like a heart murmur. And so, you know, he talked about it on the show with NeNe, one of the episodes where he was stating that his father also had heart issues, and that was kind of one of his biggest fears, is that he didn't want to have those same health issues going on. And I believe he stated that his father passed away at a young age from you know, a heart condition. So NeNe Leakes was scheduled to perform, I believe it was in New York. This whole comedy show that she has taken on the road. I believe it was in New York that she was scheduled to perform, and she came out and she did a video just kind of stating that, you know, she did not feel comfortable being on stage making these jokes and things like that, and knowing that her husband was, you know, sick, lying in the hospital bed, and, you know, she needed to be there with him to support him. Again, like you said, he had been in the hospital at that point. When this video surfaced, it had been 15 days. And she stated that he was scheduled to get out soon, but she needed to be at home with her husband. And I mean, you know, who could blame her, you know, at that point? So she will, she promised to make those dates up and reschedule. So like you said, prayers up for Greg. You know, he's always, you know, very inspirational on the show. You know, he's one of the few husbands that you don't really see involved in no mess. He's not looking to get no peach. You know, if he has something to say, it's you know, typically some words of wisdom, some good advice, and some positivity is typically what he brings. So definitely prayers up for old Greg, honey.
Exactly. And actually, NeNe released the Instagram statement during the week as well, where there was rumors that he had hospitalized some food poisoning and heart issues. Well, she said this is not an exclusive. This is a ploy to try to find out what's really going on. Well, what's not going on is he's not in the hospital for a heart issue. He doesn't have and never has had food poisoning. Lucky you. By the way, who the fuck stays in the emergency room 15 days? It's really sad. People like Radar won't respect your privacy when you need it most. Hashtag life for the least. Thank you for those that have sent well wishes and good vibes. Thank you to our family and friends who are testing us for thoughts and prayers. So we know it's not a heart issue, and we know it's not food poisoning. So, I mean, again, we'll keep you updated when we get more information, of course. I'm pretty sure this will be tied into the next season of Housewives.
Yeah, because they're starting to film. And I guess, I don't know if we're going to talk about that now or later, but they are starting to film. And there have been various rumors about who's getting their peach, who's getting a new peach, who is not going to be returning, who may possibly, like I said, who may possibly be getting a peach. Basically, who's in, who's out. So I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later.
Yeah, we can talk about that now, because then we're going to the other person who won't be getting a peach for sure.
Yeah.
Like we said, they already started a new season 11 shooting for Housewives, because, you know, every November is when it premieres. So this is around the time they can start shooting the show and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the summertime is typically when they shoot. Yeah.
And
so, you know, they say that Sheree has had her peach snatched, and so she won't be returning. Now, I don't know, you know, there's been all kinds of speculations. You know, season 10, this last season that just aired, you know, she was in relationship, as old sister Ayala would say. She was in relationship with a young man named Tyrone. And so basically the story was, you know, he was in prison. Her and NeNe knew him. She kind of tried to downplay what he was in prison for, but apparently it had something to do with like money laundering and kind of sound like kind of what Apollo is in prison for. Yeah, basically. So you know, the whole time on the show, Sheree kept stating that he was due to get out soon. She was kind of preparing Chateau Sheree for his arrival, and he was going to be living with her. She did her whole basement, you know, for him, this, that, and the third. She was preparing for them to start their life together. We later learned that Tyrone won't be getting out anytime soon. So I'm not sure if that is a reason why she possibly won't be returning back to the show, because she did not have a storyline. Definitely with everything that happened this season with Kim and that whole reunion, they state that she has refused to come back to the show. But then again, I'm also hearing and seeing that none of the girls will work with her. They're refusing to film with her. Candy and I guess Kenya and of course NeNe, Portia, they won't film with her. The only person that was willing to film with her was Sheree, but she's out. Don't know if Marlo is going to actually get an actual peach. I don't know if she's still going to kind of be sponsored as a friend of the show. Apparently there was a show that Candy was supposed to be producing, that she was supposed to be starring in, that was going to be on WeTV. And apparently they've already kind of cut and pull production for that, so that show will not be airing. Of course, from what I understand, NeNe will return, Portia will return, Cynthia will return. It's up in the air whether or not Kenya. I've read stories to state that she will be returning. I've read stories basically stating that she may not be returning. There is some speculation on whether or not she is truly pregnant. On the reunion, she did state that she was pregnant, or she alluded to and insinuated that she was pregnant. There were some pictures that surfaced, and the girls went in on her stating that her butt won't real. So we don't know if she's going to be returning or not. I hear Phaedra, there's a possibility that Laya Pox will maybe back. That'll give her some good TV if she returns. They're talking about I think her name is Shamari DeVoe. Yeah. She is the wife of Ronnie DeVoe from New Edition and BBD. She also was one of the members of the girl group Black back in the day. So she is supposedly, they're testing her. And then there's also a new young lady, now I cannot think of her name, that they are testing as well. Yeah, supposedly her husband is Dr. So-and-so. Can't remember his name, but basically he's like an entrepreneur. So again, supposedly, I guess she has pretty much kind of been seen around town with NeNe, Kim, and NeNe, Cynthia, and Marlo. So we'll see what season 11 is going to be giving us. What you think about all that, Reginald?
Because they've been talking about too, where they're saying that Kenya possibly might not be on the next season, but they're still working on her contract. So that's why I've been hearing that they're still negotiating her contract right now for the next season.
Yeah.
That she's on this journey to motherhood. Because we still don't see a baby bump, but she might have a baby in a tube somewhere. Who knows?
And I didn't mean to cut you off, but then it was something that I read that stated that she had been lying and going around stating that she got her contract, she got her offer, and then there's something just stating that she was never invited back. She did not get a contract. They were trying to, I guess, Bravo and them were trying to decide whether or not she was going to kind of be reduced to a friend of the show, but her ego probably would not allow her to do that, even if that's what they wanted to do. She's probably not going to have that herself.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, even myself, for a moment, I thought she would be a nice addition, but now I'm kind of like, nah, just stick to the dad. So, again, we shall see what happens in November.
Know if Shamia is going to actually get a peach, or if she is also going to kind of stay reduced to a friend of the show, as Portia and Candy's friend. Apparently, there was a story that stated, you know, congratulating her, stating that she and her husband were expecting, and then I read something like a week later stating that she was stating that that was a rumor and it was not true. So who knows?
Yeah, we shall see. Speaking of Housewives, like we told y'all, Kim is not coming back because she won't hang around no black people no more. We didn't do that. But Andrew Cohen been on an interview circuit this week because, of course, Love Connection is coming back. I want to say if it was tonight or if it's sometime this week or Tuesday or something, where Portia's on the first episode. He's trying to match Portia up with some people. And Love Connection, it's not the same version like we were back in the day. Like, you remember Love Connection back in the day with the neon light and the pink kind of lavender room and stuff like that with the audience, and you sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the couch and the guys are sitting behind the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we old, but so this whole they got bigger stage now and the big projections and stuff like that. So it's money. But Andy Cohen's been on the circuit because he's hosting a new version of it for the second season. And he said that he was on Jenny McCartney's show on Sirius XM earlier this week, and he said that he felt that Kim Zolziac was a victim of a gang up on the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, which just happened recently. And it pretty much contradicted what he said to her face. Because remember, actually, what he said at the end of the show was like, well, you didn't give us nothing. Like, you really were difficult to work with. Like, you wasn't really active.
Yeah, she called herself at the end of the show. Her and Croy called him into the bathroom, called Andy Cohen into the bathroom, pretty much wanted to know why didn't he stop the and I wouldn't necessarily call it a ganging up on her. It was more like a double dutch gang, because who was NeNe, Kenya, and Candy all tagged themselves in
Yeah.
But you know, they just kind of wanted to know why didn't Andy stop it, and she states that there were other things and other aspects of her life that she could have been asked about and she could have addressed at the reunion, like those shitload of kids that she has and all those things. And he was like, well, honey, it's simple. You didn't give us anything, because she kept stating, you know, I have positive attributes and I had, you know, positive things going on. And he was like, well, bitch, it's simple. You didn't give us anything positive to work with. Every time we saw you, you were having some type of negative conversation with someone. You were in some type of conflict with someone. So you didn't give us anything positive to work with. Now, that's what he told her to her face. And, you know, everybody went up, yes, Miss Andy, honey, Andrea got it together, was not going to let her off the hook. And then, like you said, he turns around and he does this interview with Jenny McCarthy, where basically he states that he wishes that he pretty much would have stepped in and stopped the whole thing. Then I didn't see his Breakfast Club interview because you know, at this point, okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of done with him going back and forth and being indecisive. Either she was ganged up on and you didn't like it, or she wasn't ganged up on and she got everything that she deserved.
Yeah, she got her ass handed to her. But then he went on the Breakfast Club, like you said, and he basically said that he doesn't feel like she was a victim of being ganged up on, and that he misspoke when he spoke with Jenny McCartney. He said that I shouldn't have said that Kim was ganged up on. Kim was not a victim in this. The other ladies were trying to hold her accountable, and she was piss poor at taking any accountability for anything. The conversation was just going in a circle. When I said I wanted to walk off, it's because I just didn't have control of the room. So,
I mean, that typically happens every reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Teresa Giudice, you didn't have control. Did you have control over that room? Was she pretty much? I think she was trying to hit somebody else and end up hitting him in the face or something by accident. So, I mean, there's not a reunion that I've ever seen that you typically have control of the room besides Beverly Hills.
So, I mean, again, this is Andy just piping up, and again, we don't really see Andy talking outside of Watch What Happens Live or the reunion. So, you know, for him to be talking, he got this show coming up. I mean, I suppose, but I mean, we shall see.
Shout out to Kaya for a full free promotion. So
yes, and shout out to Kaya too. She got married a few weekends ago as well in Mexico. So it's my neck, my back is getting cracked by a married man now. So she's off the market. So congratulations, Kai Simone, and
Oh, and I don't even think we talked about any of that that whole when we were talking about kind of things that we missed. Yeah, it's over with now, but I don't think we addressed or talked about any of that stuff with T.S. Madison, you know, which we don't necessarily have to get into, but you guys, even though we didn't do a show, we were here for the fuck shit that went on between the two of them. We followed it, you know, we're very much aware of it. Like I said, even though we necessarily didn't do a show and didn't address it, but that's something else that, you know, was kind of missed during our hiatus.
Yeah, so we definitely talked about it behind the scenes. Another Atlanta show too, people. So Married to Medicine, you know, we've been catching up on that. During the last season, we talked about that on the show. A lot of times there were different things that were going on between the couples and whatnot. So we do have to give them congratulations because they stuck it out through the mud. But Dr. Cecil and not Dr. Cecil, Dr. Simone and Cecil, they both just celebrated their 22nd year anniversary. So remember, their marriage is on the rocks. Like
that was a hoax.
Yeah,
that was a scheme that Tom set up to come to us with the bullshit, because that was their marriage. I don't ever believe for one moment they were having any problems. I think that made for good TV, and that's just what it was. Because here's my thing, and we didn't really address that either, because again we were on hiatus. But my thing is this: I never believed that storyline that they were headed for a divorce, because of the simple fact when they had that reunion show. And what I did not understand is Simone had filed these papers. She was in one scene, I mean, dead set that when they got back, the only thing that was left to do was place a signature on the papers. They had already discussed and agreed upon how they were going to split everything up. It was amicable between the two of them. They just needed to sign everything. She was adamant. That was one scene. They broke when Quad say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, and can I get about 5-10 minutes? When they had that break and everybody started talking to Cecil, or everybody started talking to Cecil and you know, and getting on his case and talking to Simone, all of a sudden, once they come back from commercial break, they all of a sudden gonna stay together. Now, first of all, Simone has a sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very close to her sister. And I feel like if your sister, if you didn't, I guess where I'm going with the situation is, you know, these are people, yeah, you're friends with them, and these are people that you know that you film this show with, and you have some sort of relationship with them. They can give you the same advice that your sister can give you, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they can tell you don't do what, you guys should stay together, and all of a sudden y'all can stay together. But on the show, when your sister was trying to talk to you, and you know, and she was trying to tell you, well, I do think that Cecil still loved you, and I do think you guys should try to work it out, you guys should try to go to counseling. She was adamant and dead set on that she wanted to be separated from him. You know, she thought it was time. You know, the sister was trying to tell her, you know, maybe you guys don't need to be living in two separate houses. That's your own flesh and blood. She told you the same thing that these other women told you in 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden your whole everything changes, and you guys are together celebrating 22 years. You know, don't nobody love black love more than I do, but I think that was a hoax. I don't ever think they had problems in their marriage. I think that made for good TV, and that's exactly what it was to me.
Yeah, because it just didn't make sense where the timing on the show, like, yes, y'all shoot the show like 5 hours during the day or 8 hours, and they added to what y'all can use and stuff, but still feel like that's not the time to change your mind if you get someone divorced that you want to nail off the next day.
Yeah, I just don't understand in one scene how, like you said, you just quickly just had this change of heart just like that. Like, I just did not get it. I did not understand it. It didn't make sense to me. I never thought that they had all these problems that they claimed that they was having. It made for good reality TV, and that just was what it was.
Yeah, she was a friend. Remember, she's a friend. When we saw a picture of the friend, you was like, ain't no damn way in hell that you upset over this.
Yeah. And according to that lady, every trip that you know, she trying to say Simone tried it. Simone, that bitch said Simone tried it because she stated, you know, every trip that she's been on, every vacation that she's been on, she was asked to go, and it was always, you know, both Simone and Cecil were in agreement with her going. And even the pictures that surfaced over social media, she was Simone with them big ass horse teeth was grinning in every last fucking picture. Girl, bye. I don't ever believe that you guys have problems.
But we don't see that really have a problem is Dr. Greg and Quad. So Quad been on her thing on Sister Circle Live. And her and Dr. G, we saw that really crumble this season. You know, he got epileptic seizures and stuff on the ground, foaming at the mouth like a dog. And she just was set up for being a housewife. She wanted to do more. She wanted to make a cookbook. She wanted to have her offices and shit, but she just didn't feel appreciated. She felt undervalued. So we saw she go through hell on back on the show, and I guess she had enough because she filed them papers.
Now that I do believe, I believe that, you know, I believe that they were having problems. I believed, and I do believe that from what we saw on TV, I do believe that they were not going to be able to stay together. I don't think that Jesus himself could have probably have saved that marriage. Like you said, all the foolishness and fuckery that was going on there. She did an interview, and you know, I recently read this like yesterday, I believe, either Friday or yesterday. And in the interview, she was just stating, you know, basically she would have loved to have had a child with Dr. G, but she just, and the same things, and these are the same things that she has been saying all along, but she just cannot see bringing a child into a chaotic situation, in which I totally, you know, agree with that. What she stated was, you know, people want to speculate and state that, you know, she was with him for a come up, and then she used him up until the point where she did not need him anymore. You know, she states, you know, that when she met him, she was making 6 figures. And I remember the very first season, one of the first episodes, she talked about how she was a home health. She worked for one of the largest home health companies in the United States, and she was one of their top sellers. Mm-hmm. And so, and they do typically, like, if you are a good, you know, because I'm a medical social worker, so, and typically, like, you know, with home, so I'm very much familiar with home health agencies. I work with them every single day in my career. So, and typically, if you have a good salesperson, they do make pretty decent money, because I would always think, you know, when she was doing that Picture Perfect pups and all that stupid stuff that she invested her money in, I never understood why she just did not start her own home health company, and then that would have, you know, been money. You know, she, you know, just kept saying, you know, she had to keep working, she had to keep doing these, you know, different things and business ventures, because that's what she wanted to do. I just never understood, you know, she knew the business, so I didn't understand why she just didn't start her own home health company and let the money, you know, work for itself and make the money. But and then also congratulations to her. You guys know she just recently crossed. She plays Delta. Mm-hmm. Whoop, Sora. So she just pledged Delta. So congratulations to her on that. So I'm assuming she applied some type of Atlanta alumni chapter. But getting back to I guess her in the situation with Dr. G, I think it's for the best. Yeah. For the two of them.
Yeah, because the way they were going at it is definitely for the best. I'm pretty sure there was some games of truth or truth, but it's definitely for the best between them.
Yeah, and then we also kind of learned during the reunion kind of why she, had the stance that she had, and why, because during the show, like again, like you said, the way it was edited, she was like a total BI to him. She was rude, she was nasty, and that was one thing that she said in her interview. She tried everything that she could try to make things work. She, they went to counseling. They went to counseling. Counseling didn't work. She tried writing things down. He just kind of laughed and made a mockery of it. That didn't work. She tried to be more open in the lines of communication with him. That didn't work. But we learned in the reunion there was an issue of some infidelity. He told the story about how him and a friend of his went to I guess a bar. They met some young ladies. They got a hotel room. Supposedly, he was going to go into the hotel room with the woman. It did not happen. He, changed his mind, but he went ahead and paid for the room anyway. When they put the bill under the door, this lady got his credit card information and, name and number and all this stuff. And then she tried to pretty much, blackmail him and wanted money. And then of course, Quad states, even with all that, he was still, insensitive to the fact that, she was trying to deal with the fact, okay, you said you didn't cheat, but you were literally about to cheat on me. Yeah. That's already something in itself to deal with. And then she's like, she stated, he's just like, well, how are we going to deal with this situation? Are you going to help me out of this already? Stuff like that. And he was very insensitive. So, they just, seems like, they have a lot going on. And, they were also the same couple, because if you remember back to season 1, that was the issue that Toya had with them. They have always kind of had like a tumultuous relationship. They were fighting and carrying on, and both of them ended up being arrested, and they had these mug shots. They caught off the wedding because they couldn't get along. Then, they, I guess, decided, and 9 times out of 10, they decided, probably because they thought they loved each other, but mainly because of everything probably had already been paid for. And they decided to go along with the wedding. So, I don't want to say that marriage was doomed from the beginning, but it probably was not a good situation for either one of them from the beginning. I mean, it is what it is. So, hopefully she will find love in a hopeless place. Hopefully Dr. G will do the same, and maybe he'll get that baby that he wants.
Yeah.
Exactly. Second time around, bitch.
So there's that. And speaking of babies, do have to do a quick congratulations to Ray J and Princess Love, who just welcomed the baby girl on Tuesday. We don't know her name yet or anything, but it's the first child for both. So, congratulations to them, because you can go from being pushed in the pond to welcoming a baby in the world. So it shows you that with anything,
love still matters.
Yes. So, speaking of Ray J and his former fling, so Whitney Houston, she's in the news in headlines. So the first thing she's in the headlines for, when every time there's something Whitney related to come out, something from the estate comes out, and there's always some shit, and there's always a report on something. So y'all know in July there's going to be this Whitney Houston well, not biopic, but it's a drama, docuseries, rather, documentary. In the movies. I don't know how feel about seeing a documentary in the movie theater. I've never been to a movie to see a documentary. This is one of the things I'm catching a fire stick. I'm getting to come from my own home so I can judge and be able to tweet about it and whatnot. So there's this biopic that's coming out about Whitney Houston, and I wonder if it's the same thing too. Like the remember Showtime did a similar thing a couple of years ago, but in this documentary, it's approved by the family. By her estate, so that means Kendall Petlin as Pat Houston is involved with it. And her childhood was marked by sexual abuse that haunted her into her childhood, or into her adulthood rather, her family and friends have alleged. So in upcoming documentary Whitney, her brother Gary and longtime assistant Mary Jones opened up about the heartbreak she felt years after she was allegedly molested by her older cousin Dee Warwick. So Dee is his sister to Dion and whatnot. She used to say, "I wonder if I did something to make her think I wanted her." because Jones in an emotional interview with the film's director Kevin McDonald about Houston opening up to her about the abuse. But Jones would tell her not to think about it that way, saying, "Stop, a predator is a predator." Warwick, also singer and sister Dionne Warwick, died in 2008. When Houston kids were growing up, she often babysitting them in around their Newark, New Jersey hometown, while their mother, Sister Houston, traveled as the backup singer. I guess she was doing a better job than she was with Aretha that night on Rolling in the Deep on the Tonight Show. But there were 4 or 5 different families that took care of us. Houston's brother Gary, who also claims he was abused by Warwick because of that time. And Houston once told Jones, "Mommy don't know the things we went through." By all accounts, that pain remained with Houston throughout her amazing troubled life. So she traversed heights of her fame and depths of despair. In the film, her family and friends recount that journey, including her headline feeling marriage to Bobby Brown and long rumored bisexuality, to her struggles with mothering Bobby Christina and crippling cocaine addiction. In the end, Jones says Houston told her on February 11, 2012, "I need to get my life together," and talk about wanting to go into heaven. Later that day, she was found drowned in her hotel room bathtub with cocaine in her system. Through it all, says Jones, "I think she was trying to find herself." Well, I mean, you can't quite find yourself in the bathtub with drugs, but
So yeah, like I said, there's this new documentary, and it's titled Whitney, and apparently how this whole thing unfolded, was that the documentary itself aired at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this month, and again, like you said, it's set to air on the big screen on July the 7th. Apparently, the producer, his last name McDonald. Apparently, he recently gave an interview with IndieWire, and so he told the interviewer that Gary Houston told him that Dee Warwick, like you said, who's the sister of the talking cigarette herself, old Dionne, he states that Dee sexually abused him from the ages of 7 to 9. And he also believed that, she abused Nippy. Now, according to them, Dee Warwick was like 18 years older than Whitney Houston. And so, apparently Pat Houston told the producer of this documentary that Whitney told her personally, herself, that Dee Warwick, had abused her sexually, but they stated that she wouldn't elaborate and give any other details. Now, this assistant, Auntie Mary Jones, comes into play. Apparently she states that she was with Whitney Houston every day for the last 10 years. And again, like you said, they had conversations. Apparently, I guess now they're stating with Dee Warwick, Whitney was, questioning her own sexuality. She kept making comments and statements like, I wonder if I did anything, like you said, to make Dee think I wanted her, this, that, and the third. So they are stating that, pretty much in this documentary, this kind of comes out probably more so towards like the third half of the documentary. So now people kind of get a better understanding of why she was, involved with drugs and things like that. They're thinking that this, directly attributed to that. So again, like you said, Auntie Mary is told the interviewer that, these things, this molestation took place while Sissy was on the road touring and, singing a bridge over troubled water and things like that. Now, I don't know how you feel about this. How you feel about this, Reggie?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's said that's happened, and then we can't really hear Dee Warwick's take on it. Dionne hasn't spoken out yet, but
yeah, they said they called her, and pretty much she hasn't called back, like you said, to give her side or kind of speak up for her sister. Now, you know, apparently they said this is why Whitney insisted that Bobby Christina was with her when she toured and she was on the road, you know, and that's kind of often why you would see, you know, like if they aired a concert on TV, you know, at the end you may see Bobby Christina come out and sing and all that kind of stuff, because they said Whitney, you know, wanted her there because they wanted to be able to see her, you know, they didn't want her left with any, you know, with any strangers and think, well, I guess Dee Dee Warwick want no strangers. They just didn't want her being left with anybody else. Yeah. I just understand why you people. I just don't understand why you people won't let this woman rest in peace.
Exactly. It's like I mean, I see where we haven't heard this revelation before, so I see why it's like a big thing. But it's something you could just saw us in an interview. Like we've seen enough Whitney documentaries already. There was the one that was on Showtime, when that Clive Davis was in. And then I think he's in this one as well. So, like I said, I'd be interested to see this one. But
yeah, because what is this gonna prove? I mean, what does this do? She dead, Dee Dee ass is dead, Bobby Christina dead. Let this lady rest in paradise with her daughter.
Exactly.
Like, you know.
And like the thing is, they're not going to say anything different or anything that's going to be like, okay, this is what it really was, because of the fact that it's still being put on by her family. So Sissy, Kendall Pelham, that's Pat Houston. And that Slave, what's the brother name who's not really the brother? Gary. He really, you know, it's like we're going to hear the same thing. They're not really going to give us the truth like that. Like if it wasn't for the Whitney movie on Lifetime, we wouldn't know that Whitney was sniffing the cocoa off her wrist real quick in the studio. So, you know, those are things we want to hear. We want to hear the true drug stories, like how she really, like we heard a little bit of it on that Oprah special, but it's like, how did she really get into drugs? How did she really get so far gone all these years when she was with the bottom on her head being a mess?
Walk over to their vase and that damn horrible ass wig. But yeah, I mean, Pat Houston, your ass is messy. You and this goddamn Mary, y'all the one I believe drew that bath water for her in that tub. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, she always co-signed something. First, you know, it was that reality show. You know, she co-signed that book that Cissy Houston was writing about Whitney. You know what I mean? Then, you know, then y'all wanted to beat the brakes off Angela Bassett because y'all ain't like the Lifetime movie that she wrote.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's really going on? Then Pat, you let TV One, you let them air that old deep, dark, depressing movie about Bobby Christina. I just don't understand why God just won't let this woman rest in peace and just stop bringing out her teas and spilling her, you know, spilling her secrets. And I mean, again, what does this prove? I mean, what can we do now? It ain't like we can treat old Dee Dee like Bill Cosby ass and bring her up on charges. The woman dead.
Exactly.
All of them are dead.
Yes, all of them. So it's like it's really nothing to really gain from it, but it's still like, I mean,
yeah. And then there's supposedly another documentary that's supposed to air on Showtime about Whitney Houston in August, and then this particular documentary, from my understanding, is basically based upon, and it's solely going to be talking about her relationship with Robert Crawford and how her and Robert Crawford were eating each other boxes out. Don't nobody care. You know what I mean? That's child bad.
And I think that's the same documentary that came on last year, the one that was on Showtime about that, because I remember seeing that part of it. Because again, it was one of those bizarre things where it's like, okay, like this is stuff we knew about. Like we knew about the Robin situation for years. We knew that was her boo thing. And so, I mean, it's nothing that you're really giving us that's new information. So it's not, from that point, we really don't.
Yeah, and Pat, bitch, I believe that was you who leaked them fucking pictures of when he laid out that casket in that purple dress at that funeral.
Yes, and that preacher's wife wig. I was like, someone had to, who brings I mean, I've seen people bring a camera to a funeral. You won't do that at mine, but I mean, who got that close up enough that wasn't even so, you know, when you zoom into something real big and you see it's a little grainy pixelated. I mean, it had a little pixel to it, but you had to be close enough. Like that was still a close enough range where that someone got a real good picture of her in that casket.
You know, bitch, next time you want to spill your own goddamn teas with your wide nose ass.
Yeah.
I have had it with her because this is ridiculous. I'm like, again, what is this supposed to prove? Like, what can y'all do about it now? Y'all can't file charges against the woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston, was 48 years old when she died. Like, what is this? What y'all want? What y'all want Dionne Warwick to do?
Exactly. And here's what I'm a little concerned with too. Like, Pat Houston has all this control. I guess she was, Whitney's manager for a moment. But why it just, like I said, when even after Whitney died, Pat Houston had a commercial. That's why I always call it candle peddling ass Pat Houston, because she had that candle line and she shot this infomercial with Whitney and she released it right after she died. I'm like, you selling candles for real right now? Like, how does she get all the control to run all these businesses within the family? Like, how does she get control of this state? I mean, Cecil could have appointed somebody else outside who was, an outside figure who doesn't seem like they have a motive, because Pat always tried to climb her way to the top. I've heard about her for many years. That's why I don't really fuck with Pat Houston and her telling ass.
Yeah, because supposedly she was like a struggling model. She didn't make no coins off that, your old wide nose ugly ass. Didn't make no coins off that. So then you linked up with the Houstons. Like you said, she's always had these just questionable motives. And, like you said, she's been trying to climb her way to the top. Because my thing is, why you ain't, if you such a good manager, why you ain't managing nobody else?
Exactly. I mean, you couldn't even manage Bobby Christina, right? So, what? Anyways. So that's that situation there. But speaking of Whitney, so shout out to Pusha T, who just released his new album straight out of 757. It's supposed to be called King Push, but it's called Daytona. He already had the album cover set up and everything that he's going to release. He just turned the masters into his album, the final edition, on last Wednesday. The album came out on Friday. So that means, everything was rushed to get everything done before midnight Friday night Eastern time. Thursday, 1 a.m., Kanye called him and be like, I don't like the album cover you chose. So Kanye showed over $85,000 for this picture. Now, I didn't know we were licensing pictures from the tabloids for National Enquirer, but apparently if you take a picture, that's bank. So I'm going to take a picture of somebody and get some bank and license that shit too. So the pictures have been licensed to his company. Kanye said, I'll pay $85,000, yet you're in debt though. You're in so much debt, but you can spurge $85,000 for a picture that we already saw on the Google image search. Okay. So this picture that Kanye wanted to use for Pusha T's album is the picture of the cracked bathroom, the cracked out bathroom rather, Whitney's bathroom, which came out. It came out years ago. I remember this picture.
When the police raided her house. Yeah,
and this was years ago. I remember that picture. It was a Bank of America box for deposits on the countertop, a Budweiser can. So this is real old, because this was the old Budweiser logo. And then all the cracked, the spoons and stuff. They say one of her sisters, or one of Bobby's sisters, I'm pretty sure it wasn't that other one that was speaking out too much, but someone took pictures of the bathroom and sent it to them. So it was an inside job, because no one just not come to the house unless you were a cleaner. But you're trying to stay in America, so you're not going to undocument yourself like that. So someone in the family took them pictures, Bobby. But Pat.
Yeah, because then I'm like, okay, so did the $85,000 go to the estate, or did it go into the greasy, grimy fuck shit hands of Pat Houston? Because ain't she the estate? Ain't she the estate?
She is the estate. So she knows all these moves. She licenses. She said yes, nay, here, there, and whatever. So again, I don't trust her ass.
Like I said, once again, this is all a scheme set up by Todd to come to us with the bullshit. Exactly. A girl.
And Whitney Houston's nephew, Gary Michael Houston, is coming out in support of Pusha T and Kanye West. Of course you are.
Saying that they artists, and this is kind of what they do.
I mean, he said not to be offensive, but I'm on a different mindset when it comes to situations like this. People automatically look to people like Pusha T and Kanye West and try to place blame or say they have ill or malicious intent in order to gain publicity. But I get it. I get the correlation. Sounds my aunt, but the photo itself. and I actually love the album. Bottom line, these are artists in the day and age. If they can afford to pay someone for usage of that photograph in order to convey a visual message to accompany their musicianship, then so be it. He continued the statement saying the bigger issue is deeper and one that most people, including folks who claim to be so heartbroken or traumatized by the use of the photo, choose to conveniently ignore and bypass. So the person who violated the trust of my aunt by taking the photo and selling it to the tabloids of their own personal and financial gain is more of a travesty to me. Is this Pat Houston's son? Or no, because they got the daughter. So this one else,
Yeah,
Michael is the other child.
Got a daughter. They just got a daughter. To my understanding, I think her name was Raven or something. So I think this is the other son's child, because supposedly they just got this one child.
Yeah, so
they said it was your auntie that sold it to the damn tabloid.
Exactly, and I get it too. You know, it's that double-edged sword where I'm an art head, and I get where, because the music in itself really. I mean, the music about some of the music is about crack and stuff like that. So
that's what I was gonna say. The music itself speaks volumes about the album cover. You know what I mean? And what you may consider art. Everybody else may not consider that, but there's always a vision, and that's what Pusha T was saying in the interview. Because like you said, he stated that they had selected certain pictures. That everybody agreed that these pictures would be the pictures that were going to go onto the album cover. So the particular set of pictures that they had taken. But again, like we talked about, Kanye West earlier in the show, he is a creative genius, and there's no way to negate that and get around that. And again, I think that there is a vision behind what he did and why he did it. Like you said, the album is about, crack and drugs and stuff like that. What better way to portray it than the crackhead herself?
Yeah.
Again, I stand for Whitney Houston all day and night, but it is what it is. She had a drug problem. And again, and when you keep, and that kind of goes back to all these documentaries and people, co-signing on things to keep talking about her life and spilling her deepest, darkest secrets. When you keep doing things like that, it just, again, polarizes her drug problems and the issues that she had, these relationships that she had with women, and the tumultuous relationship that she had with Bobby Brown. And when you look at all of it is tied into drugs and alcohol and things like that. I mean, so it is what it is. I think there was a vision behind what he did and why he did it. And again, it's something that has never been done before, and that's what being an artist. That's what it's all about. At the end, you want to what sets you apart from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do what has never been done before.
Yeah, and there's controversy behind it. And then, like I said too, when I was like 16 when that picture came out of the National Enquirer, because I remember I was at the dentist office and I actually took it with me. I actually still have that National Enquirer in the Foot Locker somewhere.
So the people in the dentist office, you saw that magazine?
Don't you steal magazines at the dentist office?
No, I don't.
Oh, but anyways, but I mean, it's there to take. But anyways, but I just remember looking at it, laughing. Like, I was 16 because we all knew Whitney's problems then. But I just remember laughing. I was like, Whitney got a nasty ass bathroom. Like, that's some nice porcelain that she got and stuff like that. But that's a nasty ass bathroom.
She has, because she was high as hell.
Exactly.
Spray painted, it was just, I mean, you do, when you have a drug problem to the magnitude that she had, you don't think about things like that, and they probably never thought that bathroom would be exposed.
Exactly. It showed all the true colors and all the shit in the sink. But again, when we get more Whitney stories, possibly, with the upcoming release of this movie in the next couple of months. But speaking of Pusha T, also he got a beef with Drake.
And we may see that movie and review it. So
I'll drive to Richmond for that one, because we just got to talk and discuss that movie. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some shit, but
Or maybe, like you said, we can do it on the Fire Stick. You can come here and then we can go live and do the review. So that may be something, and we'll keep posted on that. But
definitely, and Pusha T and Drake, on Infrared on the album. Pusha got a lot of controversy with this album, so it works in his favor in a little bit. The Drake situation, you basically called out Drake and the Quentin Miller situation. We talked about this on the show a long time ago as well, with the whole ghostwriter situation. And, Drake said it wasn't true. Nicki stepping into it saying that, this man's written for himself and for others. And y'all late with the bullshit. Like, stop saying that and stuff like that. But you didn't have the same energy when he was coming at you, your dude Meek Mill, and you're supposed to be in a relationship with this guy. You didn't tell him to back off, Meek, nothing but, hey, it is what it is. Or you vice versa. You didn't stick up for Drake when Meek was talking about him too. Anyways, so I don't really want to, because the beef is, it's not even like a beef real, like, Drake is just a one sassy. Drake is real sassy with his comebacks because he learned from a queen somewhere, because he wrote a whole invoice to Good Music for promotion. I think he charged him like $20,000 or something for promotion and for reviving someone's career. I'm talking about Pusha T. So, in this situation here, I heard both records. The Drake record was nice or whatever, and he had his little snapbacks. Like I said, he's sassy with it. But I actually prefer Pusha T over Drake. If we talking about raps and stuff like that, because when Clips came out and Pusha T was grinding and stuff like that out here in Norfolk, at the old Fresh Pride, where McDonald's and whatnot is, out there in the hood in 2002, and we got doing the beats to grinding and stuff like that on the school tables. Drake was wheelchair, not even wheelchair Jimmy then. He was just Jimmy on Degrassi. So, Pusha has so many layers to him, and so, his career has been, talked about. Like, people don't really just throw him off. They don't say he's a has-been or nothing like that. Like, Pusha still get respect in these streets years later, and he's not like just whatever type of artist. But I would actually prefer Pusha over Drake. So, when Pusha really get the energy, he still is the president of good music, so he still got records to release and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure he's going to come back real strong too towards Drake. So that's my take on it there. And,
yeah, I haven't really been following that whole beef or whatnot. I've just kind of seen various stories and things like that, but I haven't really read anything. So, I can't say if I like one over the other.
Yeah.
And I guess just, being 757 to the day I die, bad news to the day I die. If I had to pick one over the other, it definitely would be Pusha T. Just because that whole 757 thing, and it just is what it is. But good luck to you both, gentlemen.
Yeah. And then real quick too, so Kim Kardashian and Rhyme Fest. So y'all remember Rhyme Fest? He was on Good Music back in the day too. He was like one of the first artists that Kanye kind of released on Good Music under a little bit. Rhyme Fest co-wrote Jesus Walks with Kanye. He co-wrote Glory with Common and John Legend, so he won an Oscar for that. But it's there's been some beefs right now, some drama right now. So there's this house that's in Chicago called Donda's House, and it's a foundation co-founded by Rhyme Fest and Kanye, where it's supposed to be like this after school type of thing for the kids. And I was about to say Chirac, but I'm gonna be respectful to all you all in Chicago, to the kids of Chicago, give back to those in need and whatnot and things like that. And it was a way to honor her. They co-founded in 2013 as a way to honor Kanye's mother, Donda West, and after her passing, give back to the Chicago's youth. In 2015, Kanye secured the foundation's largest donation to date, $133,000, some of which included proceeds from Ye's performances from the Louis Vuitton Foundation shows in Paris. Kanye's generosity is greatly appreciated and will improve our capacity with new staff as we deliver the high-quality arts programming that our participants deserve. Rhyme Fest also commented on the donation at that time that this was a great honor and true tribute to his mother's legacy, who did so much for young artists. In 2016, at Donda's House announced that the organization purchased Kanye West's childhood homes in hopes of converting it into a community art center and recording studio. But they kind of let that house just go to wayside. I saw the picture, so they just let it. You know, Kanye didn't really care, so they just let it just sit there and just rot to hell. In October of last year, Rhymefest and Donda's House announced that Kanye's childhood home not only needs to be rezoned from residential to commercial use, but it also needs to be demolished and rebuilt after discovering it was in the worst shape that previously thought. Rhymefest said that later in the fall, the organization planned to raise $1 million towards the cost of demolition and construction of a new facility. So that now brings us to the now. So that's when Rhymefest published a statement on behalf of Donda's House, asking those who have boycotted Kanye to not boycott the foundation and accused Kanye of not donating to help with the demolition of his childhood home. It was a whole lot that was going on too. He also tweeted Drake suggesting Good Music remit the invoice payment to the foundation instead of OVO. Kanye has not commented on the allegations, but Kim Kardashian had time on social media. So she said, "You haven't been right since you got kicked out of the studio in Hawaii wearing fake Yeezys at Rhymefest. You're over leveraging Kanye's name and asked Kanye to donate money to you. So stop with your fake community politics and lies. Truth is, you haven't been able to sustain the foundation. I saw you at our studio a few weeks ago, so why didn't you bring this up then, Rhymefest? You weren't trying to get Kanye to listen to your subpar beats. You have the audacity to use Kanye's mom and name to try to shed negative light on Kanye. You didn't say this when Kanye paid you up front when you disappeared during Pablo, #RealFriends. You better believe I will make it my mission to take down this house from you and let my children run it the way it should be run at Rhymefest. Oh, and lastly, your flight canceled to Wyoming. You thought you were really ready to be on this album? So, Kimmy had a little time today, and Rhymefest responded back. He went to his notes on his iPhone. He said, "I don't care, dear Kim Kardashian West. I don't care if no one on your timeline knows who I am. The people in my community and city do, and that's what truly matters. Your husband and I have been correspondents for the last 2 months, and which you have stated. Even when you saw me in the studio recently, Kanye asked me if I could come help him with his album again. I wasn't seeking Kanye; he was seeking me. I spoke to your husband about peace and balance, as well as about the work that we've been doing in Chicago regarding Donda's House. He was more interested in his record." So now there's a whole, I didn't have time to read all of that, but pretty much Donda's House released a statement saying that they will no longer be known as Donda's House, and that due to the recent events that have occurred over the past 48 hours, we have decided to no longer use the name Donda's House Incorporated. This has been an incredibly difficult decision, but the social media quotes from Kim Kardashian West, as well as the expressed interest of her family running the organization, has brought us to this decision. I'm exhausted already. That's our Kardashian minute for the summer. Damn it. But
yeah, that's it. Talking about that is
yes.
Child, good luck to Donda's House. Good luck to Rhymefest, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. Child.
I mean, and I would say this too, again, with Chicago, everybody, advocating to do things better for Chicago. Because we talk about the stories. We saw the Chi. We talked about Chirac many times, but it does come across where it seems like Kanye just really isn't that involved with his own hometown. I don't remember hearing anything with Kanye involved with Chicago in a long time. If anything, give it a Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper does a lot with Chicago youth. So that would be one person who can take over, if anything.
Yeah.
But speaking of Chicago and the youth, so Robert Sylvester Kelly, people, R. Kelly himself. So there was a documentary, I will say this. We talked about R. Kelly for a long time. One of the stories we talked about before we went on hiatus was the hashtag Mute R. Kelly situation, which you can find that clip here on the radio on the YouTube channel. So you want to watch that YouTube video after this. We did talk about that on the FNL radio back on the podcast days. So Mute R. Kelly's campaign has been going real strong. They've been successfully had Kanye, some of his concerts canceled. There's been his playlist been taken off of Apple Music and Spotify, and he got some shit for you all people. So there's some footage of him that just recently came out, speaking about the sex cult, and he said it's too late. They should have did this shit 30 years ago. He said I got 1 million motherfuckers hating me and 40 billion motherfuckers loving me, sir. So.
And somebody said, "Where they gonna let him know that it ain't that many people?"
Exactly, nigga. But remember, people, he can't read, he can't write, he don't know math. He just don't.
And this is the same nigga that was in that openly admitted that he was in love with his mama and wanted to marry his mama.
Exactly. So he got mental case too now.
And he says that he is handcuffed. He is handcuffed to his motherfucking destiny. So
anywho, so that was that right there. It was one of those things where you gotta be cooking in that. So then he's been facing another assault lawsuit right now. So a woman named Faith Rogers filed a lawsuit in New York City and claims they met in March 2017 when she was 19 after her performance in San Antonio. In the lawsuit, she says a couple of months after Robert flew her to NYC for one of his concerts. After the show, she says Kelly bombarded her hotel room and initiated unwanted sexual contact, including oral and vaginal intercourse. After what she calls abusive sex, he then allegedly criticized her for being boring in bed. So according to the PDF files, Faith called herpes from Robert Sylvester. She says they dated for 1 year, during which he mentally, verbally, and sexually abused her. He claims he locked her in rooms, studios, and cars to punish her for failing to fulfill his sexual desires. And the suit Faith says Kelly had a female assistant stand guard to make sure she didn't flee.
Surprise, surprise.
So surprise. Then we talked about this police officer's wife that he gave a STD to. This shit that we've been hearing for a long time. But now, first thing I want to ask you, first, because you locked in rooms. Now I'm trying to figure out this was a room that locked from, I don't know. But you got locked in the car. Now, one of the things that could go out of one way, you could still unlock the car, but you had a emergency on. The sirens will come on. You can run. You can sprint the fuck real fast somewhere, unless you got a gun or something. But you can still sprint further enough to run for help somewhere if you lock you in the car. The other thing too is maybe they had the child lock on because he loved a child, so they have the child lock on in the door to where you couldn't escape out. That's a problem there. But again, this is stuff we talk about with R. Kelly, and the more that stuff comes out, it's like we talked about this a long time ago. I told y'all when he married Aaliyah at 15 and made her change her name, or change her age rather, or the girls in the cult, or the girl in the video that he peed on and had sex with in the recording studio. 2 videos. There are 2 separate occasions on those videos. He kind of he did an interview with BET with I've got the man's name was Ed Gordon, I think it was. He was like the OG newscaster on BET News back in the day. He kind of openly admitted that he had sex with them. Yet he still walked off free for whatever reason. Y'all was still stepping in the name of love. I'm not gonna lie, Ignition remix was the shit. Chocolate Factory album was the shit.
And I was about to say, hell, when I went to Herbalife, they like play music in there. So the young lady that's in there in the evenings, she just kind of hooks up her Spotify, whatever music streaming service that she has. Is so Feel It On Your Booty was playing. And I was like, this is my song for real. No. Then I was like, oh shit, I ain't supposed to be saying.
Yeah, he was feeling on the little child's booty though. So,
I'm like, oh shit, I ain't supposed to be saying this shit. So, it's just, again, I don't understand how he walks scot-free. Like you said, when he openly admits, he's having these sex dungeons and, holding these little girl hostages and stuff like that. But like he said, I mean, shit, you should have done this shit 30 years ago.
Exactly.
So,
and it's one of those things too, like you mentioned too, with other people, like with Kanye, like you can't negate the fact that for a man who can't write and can't read,
he is a creative genius.
Yeah, he can write his ass off, produce. Like he wrote so many timeless records and countless songs with many artists, like from just not in R&B, but outside. Like the other day, like the other day, I was listening to my Apple Music on playlist on shuffle as a playlist, and the R. Kelly remix to Anytime Any Place came on. I was like, oh, I gotta turn this off because first off, this is R. Kelly remix, so I can't listen to this right now. And then You Are Not Alone came on from Michael Jackson. I was like, oh, the two Predators both collaborate on this song. Can't listen to this right now. But it's like with Michael Jackson, we know he's a genius. He's the king of pop, but under the surface, there's some shit going on with him that wasn't too healthy.
A whole lot of issues.
Exactly. So it's like all the greats had all these issues. It make it hard for you to listen to him Well, it's like, damn, the music's still good. It's like sometimes you miss it. It's like, damn, I kind of just listen to it like one day. Like, let me just give my one day just listen to the music and just cleanse it out. But
I mean, and it stems, you know, from even before like your R. Kelly's and your Michael Jackson's. Look at David Ruffin, could sang his ass off and was beating motherfucking what's her name? Tammy. I want to say Tammy Roman. What's
she said Marvin Gaye, damn it. And I was listening to her the other day too, because she died so young and it was so sad too how she died. But
yeah, was beating her down.
Yeah, rapes off.
Yes, whooping her ass.
Y'all talking about the truth.
Yeah, I mean, but a creative genius, somebody get high as hell and can go on that stage and deliver a performance just like he was, you know, sober.
Exactly.
So, you know, it just didn't happen with Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and Kanye West. You know, it's been happening long before then, and it doesn't make it right, you know. But it, you know, it's just you know, just like Phaedra Park said, you know, everybody can't be a doctor, everybody can't be a lawyer. What makes the world go round is it needs a few W's.
And there's also, if y'all look on YouTube, there's a documentary that BBC America, well not BBC America, but BBC in the UK aired on their channel over there overseas, and it's on YouTube. But it's a good R. Kelly documentary. Like, it talks about the stuff from him picking up girls in Chicago. I think I told y'all about that too. They even say he picked up little boys back in the day, but they didn't mention that in the documentary. But they mentioned he picked up little girls at the schoolyard and stuff like that in Chicago. But him and the R&B singer that's also from Chicago used to pick up little boys from the basketball court. But that's not that's gonna be another story for another day. But you know, anyways, from that, you know, he has a sickness, like something ain't quite right with him. And even Wendy Williams said that remember she had a little when she got sick and she had to take off from her show. She said before she did that, R. Kelly called her in the middle of the night and summoned her to his recording studio just to have a conversation. And she said he revealed so much that, you know, if Whitney Williams can't talk about it, that means it's some deep shit. She said she would never speak on it at all. Like, it's some deep shit that he's going through. But
Tammy, that was her name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And,
but yeah, like I said, if Wendy Williams will take this stuff to her grave, then like you said, obviously, you know, he got some deep rooted issues, and he's never been, and I guess that's the other thing, he's never been quiet or you know, pun on words, he's never been mute about the deep, you know, the deep issues that he's had, you know.
Yeah. And then there's gonna be a Lifetime documentary, a docu-series that they are putting together. So it's going to be involving, they're working on not one, but 2 R. Kelly projects. So there's going to be the documentary. One of them is going to be where it's getting help from the families of R. Kelly's alleged sex slaves. So Tim Savage, the father of the alleged brainwashed sex slave Jocelyn Savage, we talked about them on the show before, tells TMZ that 3 families are directly involved with helping Lifetime produce the documentary.
Is the mama going to be up there?
Yeah.
Savage, I hope you've done something to your head.
Exactly. One of the scenes features Michelle in LA looking for her daughter, Dominique. Michelle tells us she recognized her daughter in the video we posted earlier this month interviewing Jocelyn. Dominique's the one wearing the baseball hat and the black t-shirt. She somehow found Dominique and brought her back home with her. As far as Angelo, he's been trying to find his daughter, Azrael, for some time now. As reported, she met R. Kelly when she was 17, and shortly after meeting, Angela said she moved in with him. In addition to the documentary, Lifetime also has a movie in the works. There's no word on what the movie is going to be about, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Lifetime, you know, life movie, like a biopic. Anyways, that's exhausting too, damn it. But it's Robert Sylvester. What are you going to do? And then another thing too here is now Morgan Freeman. So Morgan Freeman, revered actor, loved, you know, ever since Dr. You know, Mr. Clark and what you call it,
Lean on Me.
That one came on the other day too. I was like, that's the worst ass principal. I always reference him because I would never want to go to a school run by him, fussing me out, cursing me out, and stuff like that, making me sing in bathrooms. East side, no, won't catch me singing in the bathroom with all them acoustics. But then it's like we just never assumed that he would be that type of person. Like he would just.
Oh, Hook from Driving Miss Daisy.
Exactly.
But I mean, the same thing with Bill Cosby. Like you said, revered actor. You know, he was probably more revered than Morgan Freeman. I mean, shit. Who, you know, growing up, who didn't want to live in the Huxtable house?
Exactly, in the brownstone, New York City. Nice, you know, the basement, the office, at the kitchen, outside.
Mama is you know, an obstetrician.
Yeah.
The dad is an obstetrician, mom is a lawyer. You know, who didn't want to grow up like that?
Exactly.
So, and then, you know, so you can't put anything past these niggas nowadays. And you too, Morgan Freeman. But ain't Morgan Freeman the same one that was fucking his granddaughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly. We gotta say allegedly. But the Oscar winner's alleged inappropriate behavior occurred on set with female members of the CNN production staff and employees at Revelations Entertainment, the production company that the 80-year-old started in 1996 with his business partner Lori McCreary. Freeman reps did not immediately respond to people's requests for comments. One of the women who was working with the production assistant at the time accused him of frequently touching her and making unwanted comments about her appearance in 2015 during the filming of Going in Style. She spoke anonymously to the outlet. It was a constant comments about the way I looked. The woman, who was in her 20s at the time, has since left the film industry. Detailed one incident where Freeman allegedly kept trying to lift her skirt up. He was wearing, if I was wearing underwear, or asked if I was wearing underwear. She wanted to claim that Freeman only stopped once his co-star Alan Arkin told him to. Another woman who worked at the as a senior member of the production staff on his film Now You See Me accused him of sexually harassing her female assistant multiple times. She also spoke anonymously. They said that they vowed not to wear any top that will show out their breasts, not to wear anything that should show our bottoms, meaning not wearing clothes that were fitted. And there was a CNN reporter who was pregnant at the time doing the press junket for Going in Style. And she said that the actor looked her up and down, remarking, "I wish I was there," and telling her, "You are right." Now, I don't know what that means, but, you know, it was a lot that was going on. Then they said there was one time for his birthday party at the Revelation production studios and the offices, they got some words for Lori, too. They said Lori is part of the project, too. Lori out here playing touch and touch with other people as well. But they're saying at the party, all the females that were new to the office or new employees of the office had to stand in a circle and tell them, you know, where their job was, what they do at the office and stuff like that. And that Morgan would go to them and look them up and down and kind of just like give them an eye and like an eye of approval or something like that. And I was like, not you, Morgan. And
didn't he play God and Bruce Almighty?
Exactly. So then now there's
Licking Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
Another person inappropriate at the office Christmas parties.
Exactly, with the button under his desk, but that's not a story too. But Morgan Freeman has spoken out though, because this story came out. I was at work getting ready to leave early on Thursday. I was like, not Morgan Freeman now. I was surprised, but Morgan Freeman has spoken out through his publicist Stan Rosenfeld, and he said, "I am devastated that 80 years of my life is at risk of being undermined in the blink of an eye by Thursday's media reports. All victims of assault and harassment deserve to be heard, and we need to listen to them. But it is not right to equate horrific incidents of sexual assault with misplaced compliments or humor." So he thought it was a funny matter. He's a comedian now. "I admit that I am someone who feels a need to try to make women and men feel appreciated and at ease around me." Okay, how you doing? As part of that, I would only often try to joke with and compliment women in what I thought was a lighthearted and humorous way. Clearly, I was not always coming across the way I intended, and that is why I apologize Thursday and will continue to apologize to anyone I might have upset, however, unintentionally. But I also want to be clear, I did not create unsafe work environments. I did not assault women. I did not offer employment or advancement in exchange for sex. Any suggestion that I did so is completely false. So I would say that because with not R. Kelly, with R. Kelly, but with Bill Cosby, his date years back. Even with Russell Simmons, his date years back. So with his situation with Morgan Freeman, this stuff that seemed like it just came out 5 years ago or 10 years ago. He was at that cusp of just turning 70 years old. So you know how older black men, we all got that uncle who is a little inappropriate, who talks, you know, some shit and just doesn't, you know, seem a little funny style, but that's just how they talk. He's just that old man. We just didn't know it, but he's just that old man who just had that weird sense of humor where it just creepy. But what do you think about that?
Well, that's what they all said. They all said that they weren't inappropriate. They didn't do it, with the exception for Bill Cosby. He did admit that he gave these bitches quaaludes. It was very about making special, giving them BCs, giving them BCs mixed with love. Poison. You know, he the only person that admitted it. That's the other shit that got your ass landed in the position that you in, openly admitted it. Yeah. I mean, they all said they didn't do it. Just because you say you didn't do it, don't mean you didn't do it. And over 8 different women again come out with the same different story, with the same story. So, I mean, and yeah. It's too late to say you demented and senile and you didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
Your ass still working and laying the jobs you was just in the movie.
Exactly.
So you can't say that. So just
and y'all know he just had the commercial too with over Super Bowl with Mountain Dew. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to take that commercial off. But the woman that was mentioned in the CNN story with several women accused Morgan Freeman of sexual misconduct says the network completely misrepresented her comments. So because of the misrepresentation, Tyra Martin said she's getting unwanted hate. So Tyra Martin reached out to TMZ and said, hey, still getting a lot of nasty messages from people who think I am one of the accusers. I'm not, never was. CNN totally misrepresented the video and took my remarks out of context. The incident involved an interview Martin did with Morgan Freeman where she recounted, when I stood there, I pulled my skirt part of my dress down. He says, oh, don't you pull it down now. Okay, Morgan. So, I mean, this is one of those things that we'll look in, you know, it's going to be more stories. We'll hear more stuff by the next show. But it's just, you know, again, it's sad when it's someone that we looked up to, you know, we hated him and leaned on me. He's been liked for many years. So, I mean.
Yeah, the bucket list. Like I said, Driving Miss Daisy. Mm-hmm. Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, it just, I guess, you know, again, who wants to go to prison in 90? So I get you don't want to say you did it.
Just
keep your hands into your goddamn self and keep your thoughts, you know, your innermost thoughts. Just don't say the shit.
Yeah, just write down on a piece of paper or something. But
and then put it in your pocket. Don't give it to the bitch. Just put it in your pocket. You know, just
like, you old enough to know better, but again, so many people thought they were invincible for many years, and our shit coming to light now. So, anyways, he might hear that Terry Crews might say he touched him. But anyways, so moving on now to Monique's line sister, because in this story right now, she's wearing red with her faux sister lock. So this is up her avenue right now. So Rachel Dolezal, who is now known as Nkechi Amari Diallo. Now, well, I'm talking about that in a little bit. But before I go into that, she's been accused of first-degree theft by welfare fraud, perjury in the second degree, and false verification for public assistance. She's facing up to 15 years in prison. So because she changed her name, I guess we'll be arresting her as Nkechi. So according to the PDF files from the courts, she illegally received $8,747 in food assistance and illegally received $100 in child care assistance. Total restitution, according to the document, is $8,000 and $847. Allegedly stolen from August 2015 to November 2017. The investigation into the alleged theft started in March 2017 when a DSHS Office of Fraud and Accountability investigator received information that she had written a book that got published. The investor said he heard that she had received, she was getting public assistance, but also knew that a typical publishing contract included payments of $10,000 and $20,000. So the investigator conducted that her records found that she'd been reporting her income as usually less than $500 a month and child support payments. And at one point, it asked how she was getting paying her bills. She reported barely, with help from friends and gifts. So they did a subpoena on her self-employment records, which included copies of her bank statements from 2015 to present. The bank records show that she has been deposited about $83,000 into her bank account in several monthly installments between August 2015 and September 2017 without reporting the income to the Department of Social and Health Services. And she's getting money from her book in living color or in full color, speaking engagement, soap making, doll making, and sale of her art. So she made about $20,000, did a one-time job in October 2017 worth $20,000. And she came in voluntarily for an interview with fraud investigators last month. But when questioned about possible discrepancies in her income reporting, she stated that she fully disclosed her information as what discrepancies. She told the investigator that she did not have to answer any more questions since she had not waived her Miranda rights, which ended the interview. So the state of Washington seeks prosecution and restitution of this matter. In addition to the department requests that she be disqualified from receiving food assistance for at least a 12-month period for breaking the food assistance rule on purpose. This is known as intentional program violation. Ooh, now I got the PDF files here as well.
Well, you know, let me say this. Miss Rachel, bitch, you want to be black so goddamn bad. Well, bitch, here you go. You got bigger problems now. Because, see, when the government, when they want their 40 acres in the middle and their reparations, they typically go to the niggas first. So here you go, bitch. Now, you done told these people that you getting less than $500 a month and your ass is going to the bank and you securing all the Louis Prada Gucci bags. I mean, you just breaking it in and putting this money in the bank. Girl, what is your problem? And then had the audacity on that documentary to take that motherfucking toothbrush and slick your baby hairs. Bitch, all your hair is baby hair. What? I lost it. I was at the end of that documentary where she took that toothbrush. I said, bitch, now you was doing the most.
Now, first off, when she started cutting the hair, now she took the braids out of her hair, the fake locks out of her hair. And then she had like the little teeth, you know, the little twists and stuff like that. I was like, that look really Sandra Blandish. Like that, you know, it's got the little twists and stuff like that. Okay, she real sister locks right now. But then when she put that wave cap on, stitched that lace front wig on there, I was like, okay, she's really into this weaving game now because she sewed that wig on her head by herself. Another scene in the beginning of the movie, she out here doing braids and stuff, got the strands on deck and everything, doing weaves and whatnot, doing beautiful art pieces. Those art pieces were beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you see that damn picture she painted herself with that hair wrap?
Yeah, and then put the blue paint. I said, you know what? Now you got a head wrap. Your skin is real dark as hell. Now that this is them using brown crayon to identify yourself.
Yes. Why did you paint yourself so damn dark?
But I was like, okay. At the end of when the DMV changed the name, I said, okay, now. What type of shit here? Your name is Nikitcha. Who? Amari. Who? Diallo. All right, African Voodoo. You Ayala now, changing your name and shit. But her story though was interesting because of the fact that her parents, who outed her, basically, you know, to protect the older brother who was accused of raping the adopted sister, Esther or Ebony, one of the names, because her parents adopted 4 black kids. The one of them just don't seem like he all the way there. He looked like he might be a little special needs. And then you got the one who she adopted as her own son, Isaiah, and then the sister who she still keeping close contact with, who alleged that the brother raped her. And then this Rachel went ahead and was going to testify on her behalf and be like, yeah, he did it to me too. But because all these stuff started coming out and the brother called them, it's like, oh, she want to talk about me in the court? Okay, before this trial happened this day, Here she goes. This bitch ain't black. She white as hell. White as fucking snow.
And girl, they said you was looking at 15 years in prison. So my question is, bitches, they gonna try you as a nigga?
Yes.
Throw the books at you and put you all the way up under the jail and give you the whole 15 years, or is your white privilege gonna kick in and they just gonna give you a slap on the wrist, bitch, and say you don't do it again? Exactly. Which one is they gonna do?
Let me see. She want to cry like a white girl in prison and court, because that's going to be the case, because you know you're going to use that poor that you got the. And I was conflicted too, because there were certain parts where when the whole transracial thing came up, I was like, okay, well, it's kind of like how shout out to our LGBTQ listeners, but it's kind of like with a transsexual or trans person where they identify, they think they're female, and the guy thinks he's female, and then he transforms himself. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have those same struggles that a female would have. He doesn't get menstrual cramps and menstrual cycles and, you know, different type of pains that women go through and stuff like that. So do they live the struggle? So I was kind of like, okay, I kind of guess I see it from that back end where, okay, yes, she doesn't have the same black struggles, but she identifies as black. Okay, she want to be a nigga. Okay, so when these cop cars come around and get you, when you catch that charge for, yes, like when this court case now, are you gonna be a nigga and stand your ground now? That sounds like some nigga shit though, cause niggas out here do be getting all this money. I'd be like, how the hell are you getting?
Bitch, you ain't learned nothing from Big Frida's. Anything from Big Frida's, bitch. You better be black. I know you watch the show.
Yes. It's like, come on now. You got to make better sense of it. Then her little son, I feel bad for him because in the movie, at the beginning, he sounded like, okay, this is just my mom and this is who she is. At the end, he was fed up with her shit. He like, I know she's going to lie. I know she's a liar. I know she probably going to.
Yes, he applied to go to college way on the other side of the universe to get the hell away from her ass. Girl,
if I return, come on now. That bad. And then a little baby. I forgot she had a whole baby too, but
yeah, because the baby didn't pop up to the end of the day. I said, well, where did this baby come from?
Exactly,
girl.
But that documentary, it is what it is. Her book only sold 595 copies the first week it came out, so I know she wasn't getting no money from that because that's low ass numbers. That 596 people bought your book. I'll probably go to Barnes & Noble one day.
I don't know. I think with everything that came out with her, I don't think that's a book I would be interested in reading. Your goddamn story.
Yeah, like you basically just told us everything we needed to know in this documentary, and that you will not change your ways. You think you black, you change your name. The black man that we thought was your daddy, or it was just so much. Anywho,
somebody you done met in college.
Exactly. Getting your MFA from Howard University, you're trying to find jobs. Now here's the fuck shit too. Now you a mother, you gotta take any job you can get. Even if you gotta work a greeter at Walmart, customer service at the Kmart or something.
No, but I said Chick-fil-A is always looking for somebody to refill your lemonade and make you a mean ass auto barber.
Exactly, and say my pleasure. But here you go talking about, oh, I'm trying to find a job with the jobs are very limited here where I can, do Americana studies and African studies and stuff like that. Like, bitch, take a job at the 7-Eleven at the Quick Mart or something. Like, stop trying to find a job at
all the shit that you done been through and been involved in. You are not the one to take any more of them jobs.
Exactly. Work at this call center, work for QVC or HSN or somebody, but you cannot work at college doing the same shit that you were before. No one's going to take you seriously. Like, and then the hate crime situation where she was getting these letters. Now, here's where she fucked up, and that's how you know she a fraud.
Yeah, because then you believe that you was writing letters to yourself.
Exactly, baby girl. If you're gonna write letters to yourself, put it in the envelope with the stamp already from the post office, because this shit didn't have a stamp from the post office. When the post office posts something and they send it off, that didn't have nothing in the corner. I was like, okay, now it just got the stamp. Come on now, Rachel. I was trying to stick up for you, but damn it, no. You were no longer Monique's line sister. You got kicked out of the Deltas.
Oh, speaking of, we were giving shout outs and congrats. This made me think about my last sister. Congratulations to her. She actually lives in Dubai, and her husband, they are expecting twins.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, Miss Nina.
Okay. Now, moving on to our last story tonight, everybody. So, you know,
Reggie, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know you've been talking your ass off, but that just showed how much you miss y'all.
Overtime for none of this. He'll pack it all in the money.
But for our last story tonight, everybody, this is for the NFL real quick. So, you know, Colin Kaepernick still has not gotten a job or placed on any team. Adidas didn't want to do a deal with him because of the whole situation, but y'all did a deal with somebody else who got accused of other things, but we're not going to mention their names. Well, now there's been a new policy in place right now for the NFL for the next season.
And look, speaking of Adidas, real quick, did you see how Andy Cole went to the Breakfast Club wearing that Adidas?
Heavy ass Adidas jacket from the outlet store? Yeah.
That's the thing. What was that about? I mean, why you just gonna wear your suit like you normally wear?
Exactly. Are you trying to cuss it? People, y'all be killing me trying to. And shout out to our white listeners, but white people been getting on my nerves this past week, or past month rather. From Vicky calling the police outside the Oakland barbecue to baby girl calling the police on the Airbnb that she hosting that Bob Marley granddaughter and her other friends were staying in just because she didn't wait to the neighbor. Fuck out of here. Come on now. Call the police on me if you want to. Catch a charge real fast.
Well, I would like to call the police on you for another reason. That's called misappropriation.
Back to the story at hand. So the new policy requires players to stand if they are on the field during the anthem, but gives them the option to remain in the locker room if they prefer. So it suggests to find a player if a player or any other team personnel do not show respect for the anthem. That includes any attempt to sit or kneel, as dozens of players have done during the past 2 seasons. Those teams will also have the option to fine any team personnel, including players, for infraction. This season, all league and team personnel should stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said in a statement, personnel who choose not to stand for the anthem may stay in the locker room until after the anthem has been performed. I mean, and this is where the NFL is not understanding. Like, there's issues so many times that we see that there are reasons why we're kneeling or not standing for the national anthem. I remember at my niece's graduation, and at the recent graduation I just went to, and they did the national anthem. I sat my ass down. And you know, we're in Virginia, so you know the funny ass white people looking at you like, "Oh, you're not going to stand?" Hell no! It's been so many things that's been going on in that for you to find people for standing up to what they want to believe in because of issues with this country, it's a fucked up situation. But I mean, this is why I asked a question for you all. I'm going to get y'all answers on the next show. But I asked you all, are we really boycotting the NFL now? Like, yes, I was happy the Eagles, you know, made it to the Super Bowl and whatnot, and we won the Super Bowl. I was real happy about that. I watched the show all up through, you know, I watched the whole season last season, although we were supposed to boycott. But now it's like, now that this rule is really in place where they're basically saying you don't have a right to express how you want to express yourself on the field, how y'all going to take that now? So we're going to get y'all answers for the next show. Also, real quick too, shout out to Meek Mill. He got out of the prison, everybody. So, you know, he's out and living his best life right now until the next case. But again, you know, we talked about that last time too. Last time we talked about it, he was still trying to figure out if he was making another jail sandwich with an iron or not. But we thank you all for watching our show tonight, everybody. We have definitely been away for too long. That's why we gave y'all
the 3-hour show.
You know, I didn't even notice we went over time, but we do thank you all for rocking with us as always, everybody. So make sure on this show you like and subscribe to our show, everybody, and comment on the show and everything like that. We have a new YouTube URL now. So now it's youtube.com/FNL radio-TDR, everybody. So now you can find us easily on YouTube for FNL Radio. And we thank you all and just thank y'all for your patience and whatnot.
Yes, it was definitely fun time tonight. Fun time just like we had never been gone. So
exactly.
Thank you guys for rocking with us and supporting us, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight.
Yes, everybody. So again, like, comment, subscribe, and that little tidbit from Jaden. So like, so thank you all, everybody. Y'all have a good Memorial Day. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, everybody, and shout out to all of those who lost their lives protecting us and everything like that, and all our fallen soldiers and whatnot.
Yes.
Please don't act the damn fool out here in these streets, everybody. I know it's hot outside this week. Y'all start acting up. Have some sense, people. We don't want to report no stories next week. It makes for good entertainment for us, but we don't want to report any sad stories or anything. So y'all be good out here and be safe and everything like that, and don't drink and drive. Ubers on deck all the time, lifts and everything like that. Don't bust people's heads with bottles.
Use your words, people. Use your motherfucking words.
And we will check y'all next time because the train is coming, everybody. Y'all have a good night. And
get that ticket and get on board, bitch. All right, good night, everybody.
Everybody.